Favorite video I've ever made, Tiger Star? Gosh, I don't know. There are a few videos that I think are good. By the way, I don't know why the camera is kind of dark today. Oh, there you go. If I stare at it, it kind of gets a little lighter. Did you notice that? See if it stays light or if it gets dark. If I stop looking at it. Maybe my camera is conscious. We have a few topics that I have prepared, but then, as usual, say Nicholas, I'll see what people say. Because a lot of what we talk about ends up being something that you guys bring up. So there's that. There are a few topics I have in mind, so we'll see. Yeah, Oblivion looks really good in Unreal 5, you're right. It's not always, though, a matter of an improvement. A lot of things have improved, but a few things haven't. So it kind of depends. It's kind of asset by asset. So yeah. India and Pakistan. Yeah, I haven't followed that situation, so I have no idea, to be honest. I hope people are okay, of course, the innocent. Did you like the football match? Which football match? Expedition 33, everyone says it's great. I still haven't tried it. I should probably try it, because everyone says it's great. So there's that. I'll show you the model. Let's go. Here's the model we've got. I don't know if the camera is gonna help us. Probably not. Oh, there you go. Check this out. We might see a few other models later. But for now, we'll keep it here. There you go. Trying to keep it in shot. Yes, often people ask me about what my favorite video game of all time is, and it really depends on the mood. Like Dragon Age Origins is one of my favorite, but so is King's Bounty from Mega Drive, and Megalomania is a great game for Amiga 500. Like, I don't know, it depends on my... we would have to put it in a position where we're talking about my favorite RTS. If we go into turn-based, Heroes 3. So it kind of depends, you know? Kind of depends. It's a nice model, isn't it? How long have I been into Warhammer? Longer than some of the people watching have been alive, probably, because I started when I was 13, although then again, mostly with fantasy. The 40k is kind of a recent thing for me. I'm glad that turn-based games are making a comeback. I actually contacted the makers of this Heroes of Might and Magic Olden Era. I still don't know how I feel about it. I've got a little mixed feelings, but I wanted to try it. And I noticed that they send evaluation copies to people, to YouTubers. So I contacted them and I said, hey, can I get a copy? Because I want to try it. No reply though, up to this point. I don't even know if I saw it. I tried on Discord and I tried to leave a comment under one of their videos. And to be fair with you, it's not even just because I want to play it. And of course I will make content about it, but it's not like I'm asking for, oh, look at me, I have a YouTube channel. So no. If they want me to pay, I'll pay. I'll pay the price of the game. I don't even want it for free. I just want to play it. And I've noticed that other people are playing it. Like, oh, look, I tried the Necro, or I tried whatever the heck that recently they showed the Rampart. So I'm like, can I try it too? Since other people are trying it. Yeah, Baldur's Gate 3 has been pretty good lately. Thank you, Marvin Martin, for supporting the stream. If you were going to make historical analysis on what has happened to Disney and Hollywood, oh my gosh, in general, what would you do? Yeah, I would have to, first of all, I would divide it into two separate videos, because one video would have to be focused on Disney, and because that one alone, if we go into the history, we have to go into the beginning of Disney and the kind of stuff they did in their past. And how, I think one thing that we can see with Disney is that I don't think they have any moral compass, in the sense that they just move with the time. So if you've got Disney, and then in Nazi Germany, they'll just show what's convenient, and then you got Disney under another regime, they'll show what's convenient, and then you put Disney under. It just moves with the wind and does what they think is what is socially acceptable. And you can see this, like the way they if you see how they, so it's not that Disney, because they want to put it as if they have evolved. They don't evolve, they do the same thing. It's just that they just follow different cultural norms depending on what they perceive to be the best action from, I imagine, a marketing standpoint. And that's what that. So I would do probably a video dedicated to that. When it comes to Hollywood, I mean, we've been speaking about Hollywood for 10 years now. James Diamond, he can try. I hope he tries. You see, guys, every time I mention a famous creator, and it's funny because sometimes some of their fanboys come into my comment section and they're like, ooh, now he's gonna make a response video to you. And I'm like, yeah, that's the whole idea. I hope they do. I hope every time I go and make a strong assessment of a creator, or I attack their points very ruthlessly, I hope they make a comeback. Because if they make a comeback, it's a win-win regardless. Because if they make an excellent comeback, like they make good points but other points are not great, then I make another video and we continue making content, and that's great for both of us when it comes to growth, when it comes to the finances of it. So great. If they make a response video and they instead get emotional about it and go into ad hominem attacks, then I annihilate them after that. I hope they do. I hope they get under their skin. Because one thing about me, I have a lot of problems, but it's difficult to get under my skin. I laugh. So usually that's why my answers tend not to be emotional. I'm like, okay, so you said this and this is my response. It's very difficult to get under my skin, but this doesn't apply to everyone. There are people that get really pissed, and you can tell because that's when they start using a plethora of ad hominem, right? And I hope they do that because then I annihilate them. But instead, if they make a response video and they actually succeed, great, we go closer to the truth. So I'm happy with that and I'll acknowledge it. I doubt that they can destroy literally every single point I make. But if they do a very good comeback, then I'll still make a react video to that, a reaction, a response. And then I'll admit if I'm like, you know what, they made an excellent point here, so I remove what I said. Like I concede on this point, for instance. So regardless of what happens for me, the worst thing that can happen is that creators ignore my videos. Right? So it's funny that people think they're intimidating me by telling me, oh, now he's going to fixate on you. Now he's going to destroy you. I'm like, yeah, bring it on. That's exactly part of the strategy here. Absolutely. Do it. Do it. And the harsher they go, the easier it will be for me to counterattack. So there is that. Salve, David Lopez. Good to have you here. Hello, Metatron. Hello, Michael Keha. I don't know what Night Rain is. Is it a game? Yeah, moral relativism. That's a very good way to put it. It's exactly moral relativism. You were just thinking of Heroes of Might and Magic 5. I've actually played it live stream a few times, and I kind of want to put together a little bit of a playthrough, in fact. Favorite Final Fantasy? Yours is 10. Tactics for me, but 10 is a close second. So yeah. Do I think Trump will become the new pope? No, Frag, I don't. Hey, Daniele Fabbro, I'm glad you've been like hitting every stream, my friend. Very nice, very nice. Greetings from Nova Scotia. Wow, Binks, very cool. Ronnie says they should be able to take criticism like adults. You know, that's what I've noticed. The larger your subscribe base, the higher the chance that you think you're above it. And that's why so many content creators with large followings have the thinnest skin you have ever seen. Oh, how dare you? Then I'm going to call you this, I'm going to call you that. Because it inflates your ego when you have success on social media, which is something that I'm trying because it happens to everyone. It happens to the best of us. So I'm always trying to keep down to earth as much as possible. So when I'm starting to type a comment, I'm like, wait, am I speaking like, does this sound like I think I'm better than the person on the other side just because they don't have if that's the answer, delete the comment. And then I take a second, maybe I'll go drink something, come back. Okay, now I'm going to talk to you like you and I are equals, regardless of whether you have 50 million subs or one subscriber. And that's the way it should be done. But unfortunately, yeah, it happens. It gets to your head. It absolutely gets to your head, social media. And that's why you end up, particularly when you're very young, I think you're even more susceptible because there is less, if you think about it, it's proportional, right? If you have less amount of time on this planet, and then, for instance, if you've been famous online for 5 years, well, 5 years for you are actually a higher percentage of your entire life than it would be for me, because I'm a man in my 40s. So I think that's why it becomes easier to lose your perception, perspective on things. And then you have these kids that think, do you know who I am? I have this amount of followers and blah, blah, blah. And then they tell the officers that, like police officers. It's insane. Very cringeworthy. Irtef09 says, makes a categorical statement. All religions are incorrect about reality. Prove it, since you made the categorical statement. You didn't say you think that. You said it as a statement of fact. Statements of fact require proof. Metatron, a lot of content creators feel like it's an attack against their ministry. I imagine it's a good way to put it, yeah. Regardless of their chosen message. What is Final Fantasy Tactics? Ooh, Final Fantasy Tactics. It's what a phenomenal gem for PlayStation 1. It's basically, it's a Final Fantasy game, but it's a bit of a standalone, really. Its own story, and but still in the Final Fantasy universe. It's a fantastic game. It's a fantastic game. A lot more focused on, it's actually where the job system, if you're familiar with Final Fantasy 14, and they have job systems, and so did in Final Fantasy 11, the two MMO versions of Final Fantasy. Tactics is where it all started, the idea of job systems. As far as I know, if I'm not wrong, is where it all started. So yeah. Thank you so much, Frag. I appreciate that. You love the videos. Thank you. Will I try Sky Oblivion when it comes out? Yeah, for sure. I'll make a comparison between Sky Oblivion and Oblivion Remastered. I think that could be interesting to see what they... I believe, though, one thing about Sky Oblivion that I was never a massive fan of is that they use Skyrim's system, right? They use the Sky... It's like Oblivion inside Skyrim as a system. But here's the thing. As someone who's always preferred Oblivion over Skyrim, I'm actually not looking forward to that idea. I liked Oblivion menus, for instance, a lot more than Skyrim. And one thing I didn't like, when the split second Skyrim came out, I was expecting something that looked more like Oblivion. Instead, Skyrim to me looked, in the way it's organized, the system, and in a way even the graphics, always reminded me more of Fallout. I don't know if any of you ever had that feeling. And for me, that was something that initially put me off, but I still went through and ended up loving Skyrim regardless. But the idea behind Sky Oblivion, I'm not sure if I'm gonna like it. I'll try, though. I'll try. Yeah. How many years have they put into it, by the way? Baron asks, well, Raf, would you compare Oblivion to Morrowind? So it's interesting because for me, Oblivion is still better than Morrowind. I know that Morrowind has a cult following. Still, Morrowind is more original, so it's more alien as a world. So when you walk around Morrowind, and I actually started with Morrowind when it comes to Elder Scrolls. I never played Arena. And you have these giant mushrooms and all the weird creatures and the methods of transportation with those tall kind of monsters. It's awesome. So if you want something that looks less like real life and more like, man, what is this place? Then Morrowind is actually better for you. But the combat system was always, it's too much role-playing game. It feels too much like you constantly miss because there is a dice roll based on skill, whereas Oblivion is physics based. So that was a massive improvement in terms of gameplay for me. And in general, I prefer Oblivion. I have a lot more. And the only one that really challenged Oblivion for me was Daggerfall, which I recently played, and I'm like, man, this is good. I still prefer Oblivion, though. So there's that. Good to have you here, Craig Ganford. Right, yeah, borrow, sure. To me, this is actually the idea of the common aspects between different religions. I have a dedicated video to Sodom and Gomorrah where I show that there are a lot of points in common between Akkadian traditions and the biblical tale of the cities. And to me, it indicates maybe a common event. That's the way I see it. That's why I'm trying to build a video on the flood also to discuss about that. So it's absolutely the case that there is a lot of common ground. So yeah. Morrowind remake when? I hope they do. I think they will. I really think they will. Because of the success of Oblivion Remaster, I think they will do a Morrowind one now. Although do remember it's outsourced. They're not like Bethesda is not doing these. They outsourced them to a very capable studio that has already produced several other games, and they're very capable, but sometimes you can tell. So as I say, I like Oblivion Remaster a lot, but there are some things, some choices that I think, yeah, maybe the previous models looked better. It depends on the model. Like the Dryad, for instance, looked a lot better before. Or like the massive, I don't know what it's called to be honest, but the one that looks kind of like a Bigfoot, it looked better before. I'm trying to use your speaking point, says Baron. Oblivion looks nothing like Morrowind, just like Skyrim to Oblivion. Good point, yeah. It's just for me, it was an improvement when we went from Morrowind to Oblivion. But to me, it didn't feel like an improvement when went from Oblivion to Skyrim. But I do love Skyrim, so I'm not a Skyrim hater. I finished the game. I also own it in every way, shape, or form that it was released for every console, for every system, everything. Todd won when it comes to marketing because he convinced me to rebuy the same thing, regardless. Hey, Higashi Martial Arts, what's up, brother? We've been working out. Yeah, 3 times a week now. 3 times a week doing my weightlifting. So that's nice. Yeah, Craig, I do notice that on your channel. Most of my research is about comparative mythology. I'm happy to send you my work on the flood myth. Oh, please do. That would really help, actually. So feel free to do that. You can send it to my email in the info tab, and I would appreciate that very much. Thank you. You own 10 Skyrims. Didn't they make like a mod that allows you to play Skyrim in multiplayer? I would love to play Oblivion in multiplayer. I wish they had added that as an option, like online multiplayer, and do the adventures together. I know the mod exists for Skyrim, but I looked at how to install it and it looked a little difficult. Maybe I'll try again because that's something I would love to do. And I think these games would really benefit from online co-op. Not like turning them into MMO, I'm just saying online co-op. That would be so good. Even if it was like one-on-one, like me and my wife playing through Oblivion or Skyrim together, I would love to do it. Morrowind has multiplayer, not the native one, it doesn't. Yeah, I'll have to see if mods are too difficult, but co-op is the one thing that these single-player Bethesda experiences, I think, are missing. And I know they're focused on multiplayer, but I'm saying it's the one thing that I think, who wouldn't want to do that? Let's play Skyrim together. Be great. So, Twitch, how you doing? Glory to Pompey, says Ares. Glory to Pompey, my friend. Always. And good night. I think you're going to sleep. And Vain Pride says Morrowind was my first Elder Scrolls game. The combat was a little, I mean, it was a product of its time. I think Oblivion, when it comes to Bethesda games, I don't know in general, maybe it is the first ever, but definitely when it comes to Bethesda game, Oblivion is the first one that actually allows you to hold a button to raise the shield. Literally. I don't know if they're the first one who ever implemented that mechanic, but before that, the shield just adds armor, an armor buff, and that's it. But you couldn't use it physically. So you hold the shield with a button, and that's something that for me was like, oh my god, it was revolutionary back in the day, right? Thank you, the hotline, for subscribing with, on Twitch. I appreciate that. Welcome. And you just got married yesterday? Congratulations, man. That's very nice. Glad to hear that. And then Voteshall says, I would have liked to see a few games get co-op, both Dragon's Dogma, yes, and Subnautica. I've seen people play Subnautica multiplayer, so I think the mod exists. Although, with Subnautica, I actually like the existential loneliness that game provides. So I do prefer it single player. That one I would play single player. Maybe after you finish it the first time, you could replay it multiplayer. That could be interesting. Yeah, I know there is the online one, the Elder Scrolls Online, but it's not the same. It doesn't have the same depth when it comes to the you know, the characters, the NPCs and everything else, because it's an MMO. And besides, that's another one that was outsourced. Bethesda didn't make it. And once again, you can tell. Played Oblivion all the way 3 times, really. I'm torn to play it 4th time with the remastered. You should. It's a very interesting version. Not to mention you can run, you can sprint, which is a nice thing, all things considering. Old school Oblivion did not have, like, you could like, basically running was your regular speed, and then you could walk, but there was no sprint in the Skyrim sense. So there's that. I've never been to Portugal, the average Portuguese. I would love to, though. I got a friend who lived in Lisbon for a couple of years. He said he loved it. Very genuine in the air, the loneliness in Subnautica, Dimitri. You're absolutely right. Appreciate that, Magnusaurus. Thank you. Good evening, Michael. Let me turn on the air conditioning because it's a little cold. It's a little hot. So I'm going to turn on the air conditioning. In the meantime, say hi to the chair. Okay, here we are. You know, today, maybe during the latter part of the stream later on, at one point, I'm considering maybe we should play something like a little Heroes of Might and Magic time. But for now, I just want to be focused on chat. But later, I mean, I still read chat even when I play, but I'm just saying, cut your hair, let it grow. Let your hair grow to your knees. Mzanziman. Kalev Knight Hasanabi moment. He always, yeah, but I didn't get a Pepsi, whatever the heck he drinks. Dr. Pepper, is that what he drinks? Me too. Irtefon, you say you like comparative mythology. Yeah, you should check out the channel of, what's his name? Because he has a really good channel about this kind of stuff. He is in the chat. Craig Ganford. You'll find it in the chat. He has the tick. He's really good with this kind of stuff. So if that's what you like, you should check his channel out. Lady Jennifer says, my boyfriend has long hair also. That's nice, Lady Jennifer. We appreciate that. Oh, you watch, Craig. Oh, there you go. Cool. Jason, I understand your feeling when you say you're enjoying older games more than the newer ones. Totally, I understand that. I mean, yes, I often turn on my Amiga 500 and play with my freaking floppy disks. I still do it. There are great games that are modern, but there is something about, I don't know, to me, the real successors of old school games are indie games. And there are some exceptions with AAA, but in general, that's what's happening. It's like the continuation of how originality and craftsmanship within the gaming space continues is through indie. Because if you go AAA, it kind of, the path, can you say bifurcated? I don't know if I just made that word up, but it does happen. And a lot of the times, a lot of games now, what they do is that they copy someone else because that's a successful business model. And then, boom, copycats, same thing. And luckily, like, the Souls games have been a bit of an exception to that, right? Because Souls games do feel a bit old school in the sense it's difficult, doesn't tell you what you're supposed to do, you gotta get good, and yeah. Michael says, my hair turns into a wild mane when it grows out. Well, it's like, I mean, mine is kind of wild too, to be honest. You have an Amiga emulator? Me too. I use the emulator when I stream the Amiga because good luck streaming from my freaking 1080 monitor CRT. But I do enjoy playing with the original systems more than... but I do emulate too, yeah. Shogun 2 is a pretty good Total War, but my favorite is probably, apart from Rome Total War, I would say the Warhammer Total Wars are fantastic. bifurcate. Yeah, I don't know how to pronounce it though. I'm glad it's a real word. Saint Nicholas. Scott asks, let's go deep. What do you think about apologetics and grace? Well, I would need to know exactly what you mean, because of course grace is a Christian principle, but I would have to see what you mean. You use mess. I have all the retro home computers running on that. Oh, I see. Cool. Vane asks, what are apologetics? Well, usually apologetics is when you try to defend either a philosophical position or religious position or whatever it is, and then you're part of that's what you're doing. You're an apologist for a specific position, whether it be intellectual, whether it be, as I say, religious or Christian. Apologetics is usually Christians that are defending against the arguments presented by atheists, and then you have, that's usually the context, and I think that's the context we are going here. Thoughts on shot-proofing armor? Well, yeah, I mean, medieval armor had not bulletproof in the modern sense, but they did have arquebus ball-proof armor, and it's very likely that the term proof comes from the fact that they made these kind of a little thicker breastplates in the times of early firearms, or maybe hardened steel, and then before they would give them to the knight or the nobleman, they would literally shoot them, and this would leave a little mark and show that way, see, it didn't go through, and so it was bullet proof, because you had proof because you shot it. So I think that's where it comes from. And there are a few museum examples, and they did this in Japan too, by the way, because of the influence of what is called Tanegashima Teppo, which is the arquebus, the matchlock type arquebus that became ubiquitous in Japanese warfare in the 16th century, and they started shooting them too, because I mean, when you're a warlord and you've got the money, you're like, yeah, I know, but does that work? Because you say it works, but what if someone shoots me and it goes through? So the armor has shot it. I mean, it makes sense that both things happened, both in Europe and in Japan. I thought it's always fascinating. Maybe I'll show you a few of those. Thank you, Jacob Baker, for the support. Thoughts on the SCA's heavy martial combat? I'm not sure. Oh, you mean, is it like when they fight in plate, but it looks like MMA? Is that what you're talking about? Yeah. By the way, have you ever seen an actual medieval musket? Because when people use the word musket, they usually think Napoleonic War. But the earliest usage of that word is actually late medieval, really Renaissance, early modern era, in fact, I would say. And it's pretty much a double weight arquebus. And these things were heavy. Sometimes you had to literally put them on top of a stand. But those were the early muskets. So musket... It's just that the word stuck around, but when you say musket, you could mean those. Maybe I can show you. I don't know if I can find it. Let me see. Yeah, you see, when you write musket, you see the other ones. So I'll have to see if I can find one. Oh yeah, I think I did find... Well, this is still kind of a later iteration, but it's kind of what I'm talking about. Well, this is from... Never mind, this is fantasy. But it kind of is... Okay, never mind, 1 second. I need to find one that actually is what I'm talking about. Early firearms is such an interesting and intriguing topic, by the way. I'll have to make more videos about it. If they don't get demonetized, that is. In the meantime, let me see if I can find the bulletproof armor. That is such an interesting thing. Yeah, there you go. Okay, I'll show you. Not all of these have to be... Some of these have to be discarded as just, Anyway, let me show you. So basically, that's what we are talking about. So in the samurai context, as you see, this guy shot a few times, in fact. Look at that. And then this, another example. This is a medieval one. So, shot it here, didn't go through. There is your proof, sir. Now you can pay. I'm trying to see if there are other things. My gosh, cheap armor. I mean, again, sometimes I'm a little pedantic with cheap armor. If that's It's that what people can afford. It's fine. They should be allowed to have fun with it. And in a LARP context or fantasy context, it's totally fine. But there you go. Look at this guy. Man, that's a tank. It's just that when I see it, sometimes it looks really bad. So I prefer to look at actual museum examples. That's not bad though, as a repro. That one there. So as you can see, something that happened on both sides of the... oh my gosh, this armor looks terrible. When I say this armor looks terrible, because this is a real armor, but it's mismatched. This is not how... This was not a complete set. And so it's a mismatch. They are all original pieces, but they've been put together in a way that is not historical. I don't know why they did it, because it's in a museum. I think this one is in New York, if I'm not wrong. Wonder why. But yeah. The average Portuguese says, I don't know if you play on PC. I do play on PC as well. What do you think of the awful optimization of modern games that look most times worse than older games? Kind of depends on the game. You would have to give me an example. Yeah, the armor is in the Met, exactly. It's just that it's weird. It's a weird mismatch. And I have no idea why they did that, to be honest, but it's just one of those things. Helmet looks good though. I would wear it. Apologia is the Greek word for reason. Oh, the etymology of it? Very cool. I heard the No Man's Sky. Yeah, No Man's Sky, 9 years old, but they give you more without DLC and fix bugs with later update. That's nice. I have to try that game. Hey, Holfdan, good to see you here. Channel member. Do remember that as usual, we'll have a 30 minutes for channel members chat only later on the stream, just as a way to connect with people that are channel members and give them an opportunity to have their chats read as a priority. I always do that, but for now it's everyone. But that's what we do. Do I think they ever faked the proof mark, used cheap steel and punch? I doubt it, honestly, because if then the noble dies, it's not good for business, because that was a nobleman, and so the other noblemen be like, oh, who made your armor? This guy, and he got perforated. Okay, we're not going to buy from him. No, I don't think they did it, to be honest. It would be really bad for business. It's really good for business instead if the nobleman that paid you survives. And then everyone is like, ooh, I want that too. Who's this guy? You know, makes more sense, I think. And plus, medieval armor oftentimes was created through guilds, and guilds had a little bit of a kind of a quality control. Even though it's the Middle Ages we're talking about, it was a thing. When did I become interested in history, Em? Gosh, when I was very young, to be honest. And I think one of the things that got me into history was historically inspired games and role-playing games. So like basically I was a gamer since I was very young, and we were playing D&D as well. And seeing all these knights in plate armor, and then seeing the samurai in other games, and the Romans in other games, and the Greeks in... Although, I'll be honest, that's what I think pushed me towards I want to know more. But probably what really initiated my passion for the classical period specifically was my mum, because when I was like 8, 9, she every evening almost she would just read me all of the classics. She read the Iliad, she read the Odyssey, she had the Aeneid, so she read all the ancient classics. And so basically I was brought up with the idea of Athena and this and that and Menelaus and Achilles, and I think probably that's what planted. So it'd be nice to do that with my kid in the future, probably when we have a kid, to kind of sit down and read them some of the classics, the stories, maybe in a way that it's easier for a child to understand. Thank you, Lakeside Studio, for the $5 donation. Appreciate that. Una corazza farina. I'm not sure what that is, Daniele, so you'll have to give me an example. So, which I guess answers your question. So let me see. Will you make more feudal Japan content? Yes, I'm working on it. I don't know how to read your name though. Wodged, Wait. I haven't got a clue. You. There you go. Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that was a great thing that my mom did when I was very young. Holfdan says more Norse content, please. I'd like to maybe collaborate a little bit with Dr. Crawford on that. I'll have to see if he's open to it, if he's like busy or not. Bro Dragon asks, Last of Us, worst casting of all time? I don't know, I lost interest completely. Oh, Woyet is the pronunciation, Dimitri, cool. Yeah, exactly, Legato, because Legato says, considering a lot of those classic stories were set in that part of the world, that's gonna be amazing. Oh yeah, for sure, for sure. I mean, Greeks just around the corner. Not to mention Sicily is very strongly connected with both Rome and Greece, and a bunch of other. Everybody wanted Sicily. What can I say? Thank you, Jacob Baker, for the support. What kind of music do you usually listen to? So lately, I've been a lot into synthwave. I love listening to synthwave or dark fantasy. Usually, these two when I'm writing my scripts. That's what I listen to. But there are days in which I'm into. I'm a heavy metal guy at heart, so there's that. Kind of depends, I guess, on what I'm doing. But yeah, you want to see Metatron making Neapolitan pizza? I can eat Neapolitan pizza very well, whether I can make it or not, you know. I did watch the entire show Chernobyl. I thought it was fascinating. I liked it a lot. Totally. I watched the entire thing with my wife. We watched it together and it was great. Yeah, there are some great synthwave and yeah, and dark wave, totally. Warhammer 40k ambient music. Ooh, I need to try that. That sounds like perfect. Yeah, I'll have to check that. Metallica used to be really good. I liked Metallica, but at the time of Ride the Lightning, I have a shirt right with Ride the Lightning. That was my favorite album. After that, and Master of Puppets. Those are the two that I like. Back in the day, I'm talking. But now, like, and then I stopped listening to them after that. Started going more into epic and power metal, I guess. Really, you saw Metallica live? That's cool. I have played Magic the Gathering, yes, a few times. Not a lot, but I played it a little bit. Sabaton are great. Never listened to Rhapsody of Fire. No, sounds a really cool name though. Lacuna Coil, of course. Metron, someone posted an OG Oblivion co-op mod in the Discord game talks. Okay, that's cool. I'll check it out. Black Knight, thank you. I have a few manga, yeah. Gosh, I had a collection when I was a kid, but I have no idea where it ended. I still have a few. I've got like some Saint Seiya originals and maybe some Evangelion. These are the two that I still have. I'm not sure if I have some Death Notes maybe hanging around somewhere. Maybe some Record of Lodoss War. That was another fantastic. If you're into fantasy, if you've never watched Record of Lodoss War, man, you missed out. They even made a PlayStation 5 game recently. I don't know if you're aware of that. This is Record of Lodoss War. Such a good. It's basically D&D, but into its own anime and manga, and it's so good. Like, this was great, and I love Deedlit, the elf. She's great. Parn is the protagonist. This guy here, I never understood why they made his armor brown though. Never understood that stylistic choice. I guess it's because it's the armor of his father, so maybe it's like considered to be older, but then again, it's actually brown. I have no idea why they went for that. Maybe they paint armor in this area of the world, I suppose. This was such a good... Anyways, they made a video game. It's on Switch as well, this one here. Video game is alright. It was kind of... I was actually surprised that they did, considering how old this anime is. When did it come out? Let me see if I can see that. Thank you, Patrick, for becoming a member of the channel. I'd like to remind you that every Friday I have a dedicated live stream to members, just me and you. And then during every stream, if you stick around, at one point we'll have a 30 minutes where you can tell me whatever you want. Let me see when Record of Lodoss War came out. Because I remember I was like, gosh, how young was I? I was a teenager. Let me see. Created in 1986. Well, that's, I guess, in Japan, but in Europe it was... Yeah, there we go. The magazine in the early 90s, then is when I was watching it. But yeah, it's from the 80s. So the original idea, concept art, is from the 80s, but then I guess they kept making it all the way up into mid-90s. So it depends on what you're watching. Particularly the anime, I think, is after that. It's, I'll show you, I was checking Wikipedia when it comes to this. Even gives you the Japanese original name. This one here. Rhodos. And then it's kind of cool because they call it Rhodos To, because it's island of Lodoss. And then Senki is this kanji here, which is kind of like war record. So here it's translated at, and I hate when they put literal. Well, this is literal, so this is fine. Oftentimes I see literal and it's not literal and it pisses me off. But in this case, it's fine. So the island of Lodoss, Lodoss Island, and then War Chronicle, which is, yeah, like this is correct. Yeah, Senki. Very good. Very nice. I wish they made an actual RPG, but with anime graphics, like maybe cel-shaded. Ooh, I would buy that immediately. Immediately. Yeah, it was a great anime, Patrick. I got involved with it back in the day, I remember. Exactly, yeah, YJ was writing as I was looking this. Should it be Lodoss War Chronicles? If they had translated it, yes. Exactly. Well, Record of Lodoss War is not bad. In English, it does sound good. It does sound good because there is also that, you know, for marketing purposes, sometimes you don't have to be literal with the translation. Sometimes they do take it too far with translations, in my opinion. Like in movies, it's ridiculous in Italy with movies, American movies. Like, for instance, Home Alone. Do you want to know what they call it in Italy? I'm going to have to show you that because you're not going to believe it if I just tell you. Check this out. We got blow you. I hate when they do this in Italy, and they do it all the time, and it pisses me off. So this is Home Alone, 1990, great movie. We all know it. If we switch language and we go to Italian, Mamma, ho perso l'aereo. Are you out of your mind? It means, Mom, I missed the plane. Why? I mean, it's not an improvement. It's a lot longer. It's kind of stupid. And what's the point? Home Alone would have been Solo in casa in Italian. And it sounds fine. Mamma, ho perso l'aereo is such a stupid... It's such a stupid... I don't know why they do it. They do this all the time. Let me show you another one. Well, let me think. Did they do it? Did they translate Ghost correctly? I think so. I think Ghost was translated into Fantasma, which is one of the ways to say ghost in Italian. Fantasma, kind of similar to Phantom in English. That's how I would translate it. Yeah. Well, actually, if it were me, I would translate Phantom to Fantasma to maintain a connection with the roots of the words. And then Ghost, I would probably translate it as Spettro, But then again, spectro could be spectre. So if we want to maintain spectro with spectre, then ghost could become... Maybe we don't have one, because I was about to say spirito, but that could be spirit. So yeah, I guess ghost is its own thing. Yeah. But yeah, they do this a lot in Italian, because Italian movies are always dubbed. We don't get like subtitle maintaining. That's not something we do. But then again, the dubbing is phenomenal in Italy. Like, they have really professional, the voice actors, some of the best in the world. But the titles, it's stupid. It's stupid what they do with the titles in Italian. And they do it sometimes with video games too, by the way. But that kind of died out, I think. And now we just keep like, no one translates Final Fantasy. Because honestly, Fantasia Finale might sound nice to you, but it doesn't have the same ring in Italian. So basically, that's the same with Tomb Raider. Could you imagine if they translated Tomb Raider in Italian? It would be Saccheggiatore di Tombe, I guess. Yeah, but it sounds kind of strange. Although every Italian, I'm talking 99.3% of the population, mispronounces Tomb Raider into Tomb Raider. Just test it. Ask an Italian. Can you read this for me? You'll find the occasional one that knows it. But back when I was a kid, where English was not popular, in most today's kids, I have to retract that, because today's kids and teenagers are actually pretty good. But when I was a teenager, no one knew English in Italy. No one. And my dad's generation, yeah, good night. My dad doesn't even know how to say good morning. Things shifted. Luckily, also because of the advent of the internet. But yeah, everyone was like, people didn't even know Final Fantasy when I was 14. People would read it Final Fantasy. Like, they had no idea. No one knew. So, yeah. Tomb Raider. That's Tomb Raider for you. What do they call the bad, the good, the bad, and the ugly? That one is literally translated. They say il buono, il brutto, e il cattivo, I think. So basically we put the bad guy at the end. So the order is a little different, which is fine. Il buono, il brutto, il cattivo. I think that's how it's translated, yeah. Classic Italian cinema is good, but it's just sometimes with the translation of titles, I haven't got a clue. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. Well, I'll tell you this. When it comes to the Ninja Turtles, we do translate everything, but at least we call them Tartarughe Ninja, which means Ninja Turtles. I don't know why they became Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles in England. That's ridiculous. Why? They're ninja. What's wrong with ninja? It's like one of those censorship that are like, no, don't say ninja because we don't want children, I guess. It's like children are idiots. We don't want children to think that they are ninja and then they start stabbing each other. So we'll say hero. So what? They think they are heroes and stab each other. Like, I don't get it. I really don't get it. Why are they afraid of ninja, ladies and gentlemen? Why are they afraid of ninja? Ninjas are banned in the UK. Why? Yeah, they removed ninja. You look it up. It's Teenage Mutant Hero Turtles in the UK. At least they used to be for a certain amount of time. Maybe they stopped. I don't know if they still do it. But yeah, Tartarughe Ninja. So one single, Leonardo è una tartaruga ninja. So Leonardo is a... Because we say turtle ninja, since adjectives usually in Italian go after the noun. Usually, not always. But usually that's how it is. But then again, we are the only ones who can pronounce their names right. So give us that at least. Because Leonardo, Michelangelo, Donatello, Raffaello. Oh, and while I'm at it, let me complain about it. Why? Because I get it that people pronounce it with a English accent, American accent. I don't have a problem with that. But you have to explain to me why Raffaello is the only one that actually got his name completely changed into Raphael. So in English. Why not Leonard, Donatel? Why are the other ones maintaining the law? Michelangelo, Donatello, Raffaello. Excuse me. It kind of annoys me because, yeah, to prank me because that's my name. Raffaello is my name. So that pissed me off when I saw that. It's Raffaello. It's either you cut all of the names or you don't. That's what I think. Anyways. Master Splinter. Yeah, Splinter remains Splinter. Yeah. Now we know where the UK katana ban started. Probably Drevlock. Yeah, some of the laws when it comes to that stuff are insane. Are insane. Like but yeah, it is what it is. Thoughts on Elrond's sword? I don't know. Elrond. What is it? Elrond sword. What's Elrond's sword? Let me see. Oh, I see. The Elven one. Yeah, the Elven one. I mean, it could do with a little bit of hand protection, but if does he use it with a shield? Probably not. If you use it together with a shield, I'm like, yeah, fine. Without a shield, though, it's lacking a bit of hand protection. The curvature is not a big deal because you had historical weapons that were like this. Kind of reminds me a little bit of a mild Sika that the gladiators used. Plus, I love the fact it's clearly single-edged, but a lot of obviously Eastern, like Asian swords are single-edged. Some Europeans too, like as you know, of course. It looks good, I'll give you that. I think it should be paired with a shield to function properly. That's what I think. Is it two-handed though, like in the miniature? I don't think so. Is it? Oh, look, this actually, I don't know which variety this is, but this one actually reminds me of Japanese. There is a type of Japanese sword that is exactly like this. Literally half of it is the handle. So yeah, it's kind of, Elven swords do have a little tiny bit of Japanese flair to them, don't they? Still, not even the Japanese went completely, like at least they put a little discard. In this shot, he seems to be using it two-handed. That's an awesome shot, by the way. Both of them. Let's be elf supremacist for a moment. This looks great. But for a two-handed sword, he doesn't have space in between the two, so it's not a very efficient two-handed handle. You should have a little space between the hands. Yeah, that's what I think. Awesome hair, though. Almost as long as mine. Almost. But he'll get there, you know? He'll get there. Have I played Bioshock 1 and 2? A little bit 1, but never got into the games, to be honest. I heard they're really good. Everything is banned in the UK, you say. Well, it sounds like it. Yeah, maybe not everything, but it sounds like there is a lot of... What I know, though, and please, if you are from the UK, please correct me if I'm wrong, but I think it's different from a political perspective because I think both the left and the right actually agree on GUN laws. It's not like in America where there is some disagreement, at least from the sides. In the UK, it doesn't matter whether it's Labour or Conservatives. They all want to ban firearms, the way I understand it. I could be wrong, though, because I'm not in England, and I didn't look into it that deeply because I wasn't that interested, to be honest. But, yeah. He has a helmet when at war, and that's a W for the show. Absolutely, I agree. I agree. I mean, you can, if it's a high fantasy, you can always say, yeah, but the little thing that he has, or maybe he has a ring that provides him magical protection, so he doesn't need to wear a helmet. You can justify it, but then you have to, it has to at least make sense within the law and the laws and the of the setting. So if he could still be, like, if he doesn't have that sort of magic protection and then he chooses to remove the helmet, then he's an idiot. It doesn't really work, even if it's fantasy at that point. But but it's easy if you think about it. Like if you're a DM as well and you're preparing a story, and it's easy to come up with ideas that would make sense and maintain the suspension of disbelief because they are still logical within that universe. And logic is the one thing that you shouldn't drop just because something is fantasy. So I can imagine if you have like, yeah, in this area there are a lot of dragons flying and it's very dangerous, but people just go around anyways and get burned to a crisp because they're idiots. No, if that's the situation, that region should have like maybe some specific anti-dragon battlements for their settlements. Like things need to make sense, and it doesn't really take that long, right? To come up with ideas and excuses for something if it's important to your setting that in that specific scenario something happens that might seem a little strange at first look, but then you can justify it. And if it makes sense, oh, he's got a magic ring, so his head is basically, and you can't attack it, because it's like, okay, that makes sense. It's fine at that point. It's fine. Or maybe like a tiara that provides magical protection and functions like a helmet. Yeah. Or another reason, like yeah, Saint Nicholas is presenting a good idea with a character in Warhammer, because yeah, that could be also connected. They're not wearing armor because they need to cast spell as well, and depending on the setting, there are settings where mages cannot wear armor. Elder, that's one of the things in Elder Scrolls that never was a thing. You can wear armor and cast whatever the heck you want. Not sure if I'm a huge fan of that idea though. I kind of prefer more of a classic D&D style where, unless you're like, maybe if you are like a warlock, you can give them something like that. But in general, too much armor would penalize your ability to cast spells. Or maybe you can even say they can wear armor if they want, but if they wear these robes instead of armor, then they will, their magic will be so much more powerful. The battle mages, they just do that, and then maybe you have a unit that can work as tanks. Wouldn't it be cool, actually? You know how in the Middle Ages we had the pike and shot formation to counter cavalry, when you had like arquebusiers, so early gunners, protected by pikemen. So the pikemen would deploy the pikes when the cavalry was coming, so that the charge, if everything goes well, would be blocked, prevented, and then the shot component, so the gunners would fire. Something like that with the mages. It would be cool. Instead of pike and shot, it's pike and magic missile, pike and fireball, pike and lightning. I would love that. It'd be cool. Man, I need to make some games. I need to become a game developer. That would be fun. Yeah, you were going to mention Skyrim, exactly, yeah. Hey, Raphael, good to have you here. Most other wizards in Warhammer have issues, yeah, true. Dovahkiin. You know who I spoke to once, and it was so cool because the guy is awesome, and we actually managed to speak a little bit, and he was really cool. The metal guy, what's his name? Metal cover Skyrim. Let me see if I can find him. He's like super famous. Is it him? Is it Jeff? I think it's Jeff Winner. Yeah, that's the guy. One moment, I'll show you. Yeah. This guy, I actually talked to him a little bit. This guy. See if we can... yeah, okay, we know Skyrim, so... this guy. I don't know if you know him. He's really good. Very fun. He made... let me see. If I remember right, I spoke with him, if I remember right. Did I speak with him or did I speak with someone else? Man, now I'm starting... Metal cover Skyrim. Come on, I'm getting a little... What's the name of the guy I spoke with? If I find it... Oh, that's me. That's my latest video, by the way, if you want to talk about that as well. But yeah, anyways. I spoke with one guy that did a Skyrim cover, metal, and he was really cool. He's from Brazil. Oh, there we go. I found him. This guy. Dan Vask. I spoke with him. He's really cool. Very fun guy. Really talented. He also did The Witcher, didn't he? Yep. There we go. Yeah, we spoke a little bit. He's fun. He says he watches my videos. Cool. Couldn't remember his name. Whatever happened to the omelette of kings? We have to start working on the omelette a bit more. Yeah. The omelette of kings. Yeah, nice fusroda, that's what we need. He does great covers, yeah, Dan. He's really good. Sometimes I train with him in the background as music. Yeah. And Max says, are you going to make more videos about Professor Dave? I want to wait a little bit and see if he responds. If he responds, I'll make a response to his response, of course. If he doesn't respond, I might still make an analysis of some of his videos, yes. You see, I have a list. If you noticed, I've been responding to people lately a lot more than I usually do. And if you noticed, I've even picked up video responses that were made like a year ago, 10 months ago, and now I'm responding like I did with Alec Gunter. And because I have a list, I decided that I've been too nice. And then people just made videos, some of which were defamatory. And I was like, yeah, I know, but he has a smaller channel, so I don't want to be that kind of guy. And then I decided, you know what, I'm going to write a list now because I've been too nice and I'm going to respond. I'm going to respond to every single one of them. Both the people that were positive or that maybe disagreed, but in a nice way, but also to the people that spread hate. So I decided to do all three. It also gives me chances to have more content in production. And so, yeah, I've got a list and I'm going down my list. It's a hunt, my friends. So you have seen nothing yet. You have seen nothing. Yeah. Yeah, Daggerfall is great. Splat, I've been getting into it lately. Do I play any musical instruments? Yes, I played the piano for 8 years. Mostly classical music. Still play. Today I played it a little bit, actually. Played a little bit of... what did I play today? A bit of Chopin, a little bit of Beethoven. Yeah. Me and Dan need to get into a stream together. I would love to do that. We'll have to see what to talk about, but sure. Pretty much, Daniele. I see trembling colors. You say, I had to stop your latest video because that professor was so enraging. Yeah, but you missed out because that video gets really good after minute 16. It gets really good. So I would suggest to go back to it. Maybe speed up a little bit in some sections annoy you too much, but trust me, it's worth it. From minute 16 to minute 20, that video is like bam, 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 bam. I think it's good. I think it's really good. He did, by the way, Professor Dr. Miano, he wrote a long comment where he defended his points, and I pinned it, as he asked me to, and I did. No problem, absolutely. So you will find a pinned comment by him where he defends his points, and then I already have an idea, of course, so I might respond to it. In fact, I might use it as a next discussion about his work. And so yeah, there's that. Yeah, very long comment, which I appreciate. It took the time, you know. He didn't have to. He could have just not watched it, pretended I never did it. But instead, he sat down, he watched the entire video clearly, which I do appreciate, because a lot of my haters, he's not a hater, by the way. A lot of my haters, they don't even watch the videos. They don't even watch the videos. They like see a thumbnail, decide that that's what I'm saying, click it, watch 15 seconds, call me a bunch of names, and that's it. Instead, he watched the entire video, and then he took time, probably sat down, spent half the afternoon to write that comment, which I do appreciate. I still think he's gaslighting on a few areas. There are a couple of points he made that I'm like, you know what, I see where he's going with that. And then there are other areas where he's misrepresenting my point. Well, again, he's probably thinking that I misrepresented some of his points, because still manning an intellectual opponent's argument is actually not easy to do. It is easy sometimes, and it's not always because you want to strawman them. Sometimes it happens because deeply as you would have wanted, or they haven't been as descriptive as you want, so you get an idea. And that's why sometimes maybe debates are better, because you can ask for clarification. But then again, debating is a completely different skill. Completely different skill from doing a response video where I have time to go and look up the sources and build up and write down what I want to say, how I want to say it, vet it. It's a completely different set of skills. But yeah. Yeah, he did show intellectual spine when he did that, Caleb. I agree with that. I still think his video was a monstrosity, but I do respect the fact that he sat down, watched, wrote the thing, organized it, and all that. So I appreciate that. I have nothing against him at a personal level. Even when I actually tagged him today on Twitter. After I posted it, I tagged him. I'll show you. Just so you see. Yeah. So that's what I did on my X account. I said nothing personal and tagged him, and boom, here's the video. And so here we are. Yeah. And then, as you can see, one of the responses is from him. And he said, watching it now, if I prepare a written response and post it under your video, will you pin it to the top? And I said, absolutely, thanks for watching. So I don't have a problem with him as a person. But do I have a problem with the stuff he's peddling on that video? Absolutely. Absolutely. I mean, at the end of the day, I've seen someone in the comments today telling me, I think you were too ruthless with the way you made this response video. And they are right. I was ruthless, but with his points. I didn't call him anything. I didn't attack him directly. I didn't do anything of the sorts. But the points he made, yes, I will be ruthless. Because think about it. When he's talking about Mediterranean cultures and Mediterranean history and the Romans and the Greeks and Sicily, what is he talking about? My side of the world. That's my culture, my side of the world. So if I feel people are misrepresenting it, I'll defend it. I mean, would you blame a Japanese for defending Japanese history? Would you blame an American for defending American history? Would you blame an African for defending African history? So I'm a Mediterranean man. That's where I'm from. That's my seat. So yeah, I will be ruthless if I feel that you're trying to do something weird. Like, no, most emperors weren't European. Seriously. And then I show the chart and the majority were from Europe. I mean, mate, I don't know what to tell you. And the ones that weren't from Europe oftentimes came from a colonial Italian family. Not all of them, but I'm just saying. I mean, at that point, I have to go harsh against the point. So yeah. Trembling says, being ruthless against bad arguments and twisting of history is absolutely necessary. I agree. It's only out of line when you make it personal. 100%. 100%. Like, I think I would have crossed the line if my video was 50% character assassination, another 20% calling him names and saying, oh, this guy is a political activist, he's woke, this and that. But I don't do that. I didn't do that. I didn't say one thing. In fact, I began the video by saying, you know, we've always been cordial. Don't attack him. Don't harass him. I'm just attacking the arguments. Hopefully we can have a civil debate about this, a civil discussion. I think I established that one well enough. Thank you, Quadrex, for the donation. Cheers to you, sir. Always welcome. I'm glad you're still so dedicated to YouTube. It would be worse off without you. Long time watching you. Appreciate that. Thank you. Oh, yeah, I'm not going anywhere. The only thing, I don't know if they're ever going to try to deplatform me, but if that never happens, I'll do my best to never give them any chance to do it. That's why I'm always careful with how I organize things, titles, and this and that, and what I say, and how close to the line I get. I always do that. But at the same time, because you never know in the future, I'm also trying to establish a presence in other platforms, because once again, you never know. So that's why I have a Patreon page, and that's why I have been active on Twitch a lot, which, by the way, the Twitch community has been growing. Hey, people on Twitch. I'm multi-streaming right now. So like the Twitch community continuously grows every single day. We have, like yesterday alone, I had 24 people becoming subscribers, which subscribers is different. Because a subscriber on Twitch is like a member on YouTube. A follower on Twitch is like a subscriber on YouTube. So people becoming subscribers is actually a big deal on Twitch, because they are the ones that support monetarily, which means, oh, okay, now I can put more hours into this. And I'm really hoping to be able to enlarge the Twitch community and increase the number of people on Patreon, because you never want to keep all your eggs in one basket. And if something happens to one of the platforms, then you need to be expanded. You have to be careful not to thin out too much, I guess. But then again, You gotta find that sweet spot, I suppose. I would love to hear you play the piano. I have a few videos, ask me. I think if you write Metatron piano playing, you'll find them. We await the day of 1 million noble ones. I hope it's going to happen soon, but I have to ask you guys, please subscribe. Because I think a lot of people are not subscribed to watch the videos. And I've noticed that there has been a decrease in the amount of people subscribing to the channel. It's the only gray arrow in the analytics of my channel right now. Everything else is either a green tick or a green arrow, but the number of subscribers has been gone down recently. So it's probably also because I don't do enough call to action. So maybe tomorrow, starting tomorrow, you'll hear me say it more on my videos, like early on. Please subscribe, remember to subscribe, and do the little, because I think a lot of people that watch are not subscribed, and not necessarily because they don't like the content. I think people forget to subscribe, and I hope that more people will subscribe to the channel, because that helps. Although then again, memberships have been gone up recently, so I also appreciate that. Thank you so much on YouTube, I mean. RLF1976 says, respect to him, so you're talking about Dr. Miano, for engaging with you, but I feel so annoyed with him after enjoying much of his content. He's turned into an activist. I don't know if I would consider him an activist. I don't think he is an activist, but it's clear that he has very definite political ideas. I think we all do, so that's nothing wrong with that. That's his freedom. But I do believe that what happened, if you really want to hear my opinion on this, with Dr. Miano, because he's a good historian, but one of the problems I think has happened is that he received a lot of harassment in his comment from the extremists on the right wing. A bit like usually I get attacked more by extremists on the left wing, although I do get called woke as well. So I'm kind of omnidirectional. I get attacked by a bit, it depends on the video for me. So I get, but then again, I have a thick skin, so I don't care. If people write whatever, like Metatron, you're such a fascist. I'm like, okay, bye. And then someone, Metatron, you're woke, you're so woke. I'm like, okay, bye. So I don't care. Like, it doesn't matter for me. But maybe for him, because he received overwhelmingly attacks from the right wing, I think he produced this video with the intent specifically of getting one over to the, I guess, the alt-right, maybe, to be specific, and the white supremacist. But he lost the plot. He was doing it so much that in order to debunk the myths and the stuff believed by certain people, he ended up peddling the myths from the other side. That's what he did. And a historian shouldn't do that. A historian needs to present the facts. He thinks they are facts. I don't think they are facts, particularly because, come on, it's like the amount of buzzwords on that video alone. But personally, I think it's a reaction to the kind of attacks that he has received. And he has. To be fair with you, he has. Like, if you look under his comments, because he, like, even simply because he says BCECE, which I don't and never will, I'll always say BCAD. Like, I make it a matter of principle. But for him, he's still free to say BCECE, and some people are like, you're so woke, and they call him woke, and it probably got under his skin. And I understand it. I do. It would be like me using BCAD and someone attacking me because I'm Christian, right? And I wouldn't appreciate that. And it does happen, by the way. It's just that I try not to let it, because sometimes when you receive hatred from one side, it pushes you to the other side. It happens a lot, doesn't it? So like, that's what I noticed. It's oftentimes if you see someone who is like, oh my gosh, this guy is like the worst that, for instance, the left has to offer. I'm like, but how did that happen? What radicalized him? And oftentimes it's because he was confronted by the worst the right had to offer. And so that pushed him left more. And the opposite happens as well. Like, what made this person get so toxic? But on the other side, and oftentimes it's because they got called Nazi, fascist, and all that time so much that they actually became even more right-wing. Maybe before they were just moderately conservative, but they became like super right-wing because people kept, like, that's what happens. That's how radicalism happens. And it's difficult. It's difficult to stay, like, try to stay based on facts, try to be like, hey, I have standards, I have my ideas, but I don't want to become a toxic individual. And it's not easy. That's just I'm not a psychologist, but that would be my assessment on what happened to this person. Thank you, Abdullah, for the support. Are you talking about emperors of Rome or Byzantium? I am, in my latest video, the one I posted today, I actually spoke a little bit about Roman emperors all the way up to, I showed a chart of all 86 Roman emperors because we were discussing where they were from, where they were born. So I spoke a little bit about that. But yeah, what do you guys think? Durjet says, is World of Antiquity an unreliable channel? Watch the new video and now I'm unsure if it's trustworthy anymore. Well, I don't think one video is enough. I would say just maybe give him a chance, watch more of his videos, and then formulate your own opinion. You know, you can use your critical thinking. And this video in particular I didn't like, but honestly, the way he defended the reasons why he uses BCE, CE, I think he did a very good job with that one. I ultimately disagree, but at least there were a lot of points that were well argued. So I actually liked that video, the way he presented it. It's kind of a case by case with Professor Dave. I'll have to make a video about the gorilla. Maybe today we can actually discuss a little bit this gorilla situation. Maybe. We'll do it later. Evil says, you're black, Metatron, accept it. I've never been told that I was black, but I was told that my grandparents were black. And I'm like, they weren't. They weren't. And then this guy told me that it was someone from the Afrocentric community that was coming there to tell me that Italians were black up to I think he said 1920. But then he said that they were swapped and Europeans, like white Europeans, stole the original black Italian land. I don't even know who comes up with these ideas. And so I told him, listen, my grandfather is from the freaking 20s, so he was not black. And he said, yes, he was. And I'm like, I've got the photographs. And he's like, no, they were swapped too. Seriously? And you're like, maybe it was a troll, Metatron. I honestly think he was. I hope that he was a troll, but I really don't think he was, because he was very like, oh, he got pissed. He got pissed. He got pissed. But yeah. Thank you, Kaisar, for saying smash that like button, subscribe, and share. You see, he's a better content creator than me with the CTA, call to action. Olfdan says, people were arguing with me on X that the Moors were black again. Yeah, I had a little bit of a discussion with a creator, if you remember, on the Moors. Some Moors were black, but I don't think all Moors were black, which is just that people use more of a 16th century usage of the term, which was used as if even in antiquity that word was only used to mean phenotypic traits, which it wasn't, at least not according to the to the research we did. So I disagree with that. I think some Moors were black, yes, because they're mentioned, but precisely because they're mentioned, like this contingent are black, these Moors are black, great, but that kind of tells me that the rest weren't. So it's once again, but that's at least the way we see it. I might review it again if it's a topic that people say no, but there is some new information about it, or maybe information that we haven't reviewed. I'm always happy to see it. But a lot of the times, Moors are Muslims. And I know that people disagree with this, but that is one common denominator that the majority of Moors have. Of course, not in classical antiquity, I'm saying in later usage, because it does change. A lot of terms go through what is called a semantic shift over time. So the same word, if you look at it, how it was used 200 AD, and then how it was used in the Middle Ages and how it's used today, words mean different things, and sometimes they maintain a root, other times they lose the root completely and evolve into a completely different usage. So it is it requires a deep analysis when you look at that. For instance, the ancient Romans and the Greeks used the word Ethiopian to mean black people, whereas today Ethiopians are people from Ethiopia. That's a big difference when you read the sources at that point. And one of the people who speaks about it, several do, but even like Lucian of Samosata, that's how he refers to the Ethiopians as black. What is your response to World of Antiquity comment on the last video? Oh, I have to analyze it because it took the time. It's not something that I'm just going to read and respond in 2 minutes. It's something that requires some time. So I might respond as a comment, or I might respond as a video. It depends on how deep it is, the answer that we can give. So I'll look into it. We might make a follow-up video. No, I'm not really versed in Napoleonic era, Alexander the Great. I do know that Napoleon didn't shoot off the nose of the Sphinx, though, with a cannon. I mean, I might not be versed, but I do know that one. That one is nonsense. So, yeah. Prairie Muffin, new and caught this live. Hey, so good to have you here. Thanks for staying with facts and accuracy. Doing my best. Try to do my best. Thank you. Yeah, I'm live from Monday to Fridays, 5 p.m. Central. Always the same time. Thank you, Stone Wizard, for subscribing with Prime on Twitch. Very much appreciated. Exactly, Legatus. Yeah. An extreme centrist attacked from all directions. The Wokatron then says that's fine. It's so funny, the Wokatron and the Metachud. I got both. Hey, whatever makes you feel better. That's good, Alexander the Great. You say, I think a good comparison of what the Doctor said about the Roman Empire is like claiming that the British Empire is not British, but actually more African, Asian, and North American. It just doesn't work exactly. Exactly. Took me forever to read that comment, but I did. But I did. Who's talking about Conan? Someone is talking about Conan. I love Conan. Man, I've been playing... I need to play Conan Exile again. It's been too long. I need to play it again. What a game. What a game. Yeah. I'm considering making a video on Memnon, Vain Pride. I'll see if we can do that. Because at least you know I'm not ideologically driven, so I'm just gonna look at the evidence and tell you about it. So I'll consider that. No problem, Purple. Thank you for lurking. I don't know what my favorite game favorite game console of all time. So the one that I have the best memories of is the Xbox 360, believe it or not. I think it's the one that brought me more joy per the amount of time and the time in which it was released. So the 360, in fact, I still have it connected over there. I've got the Series X and the 360. They're both connected. And but yeah, PS1 is another one. But I think for me, it was the 360, to be honest. Because PS1 was great. First actual 3D. I mean, there are some 3D experiments on the Super Nintendo, Sega Genesis, Mega Drive already, but they're kind of rare. But the real 3D, like in immersive environments, happens with the PlayStation 1. So I do have fantastic memories of that. What's your opinion on The Rest is History? Is it a channel? Swashto, and thank you for the support. They had excellent online multiplayer. Yeah, Jack, exactly. Yeah, Mega Drive and Genesis. You had an Amiga 1200. Have you had an Amiga 1200? No, I had and still have an Amiga 500. It's literally right next to me. It's like here. I have it right next. You know how I'm going to prove it? I'm going to prove it because let's see if I can almost. There we go. Look at this. You recognize this? The tank mouse. It's because I have the Amiga 500 right next to me. So yeah, that would be my favorite computer of all time. You have a Commodore 64. That one is more further down, connected to its own monitor. Yeah. Man, Shenmue was a great game. Although I own a Dreamcast as well, but that one is something I explored more recently. I did play Shenmue 2, I think. No, maybe it was the original actually, and on the original Xbox. That's where I played it. I was a university student at the time, and I brought the Xbox with me and to my university room, and so I would play it at night. I played some really good games. One game that I remember playing fondly is an RPG, and it's called, let me tell you, one second, because I have it, actually found it on Steam and bought it again. What is it called? Sudeki. Sudeki. I don't know if you guys are aware. That was such a good old school. I finished the whole thing back in the day, and it did not compromise my ability to do exams. So there's that. Alright, let me show you. I'll have to do a playthrough one of these days of Sudeki. Thank you, STR Zelba, for the support. This is Sudeki for original Xbox, but now you can buy it on Steam. And it was such a good game for the time, I suppose. But I loved it. I loved this game. Sudeki. Excellent graphics for the time. But yeah. Good game. Yeah, I mean the armor is what it is, but yeah. Is it a JRPG sort of? It has action components though. The combat is real time, is not turn based. And you can also fight, like there are characters that fight first person, like the mages fight first person. And then I think the sword guy fights third person, if I remember right, because you can switch between party members. Oh, you enjoyed Tenchu? Me too, but not Stealth Assassin. Well, wait. I enjoyed Tenchu 2. That's my favorite for PlayStation 1 because he had the map editor where you could create a mission and then you have your friends come over and play it and try to finish it and beat it. That, oh my gosh, we had a lot of time. We spent a lot of time. I mean, we did have a lot of time as well, but yeah. Yeah, Legacy of Kain, Trembling Colors is a game I loved for PlayStation 1. Then I kind of stopped. I never played the sequels. Ultima 6 on SNES is my favorite. SNES had some decent role-playing games. I mean, Secret of Mana is the one that comes to mind for me. What a game. Let me see. Yeah, so the rest is history appears to be a channel. 200,000 subs, 400 videos. I've never watched it. Never watched their videos. Looks more, let me see. Oh yeah, Brutal Battle of Hastings. End of the Vikings. What makes a good castle? This looks fun. How did they get to Sicily? Viking warriors in Rome. Yeah, I mean, I'll have to check out some of their videos for sure. How long are they? Man, they are really long. 1 hour. Almost every video is 1 hour, in fact. Yeah, I'll have to check it out. Thank you for the recommendation. And thank you again, Strength Zelba, I guess, for the support. What Civ is your favorite? Let's stick with Civ 4. What would be my favorite? I played all of them from 1 to 7. 7 is fun, but they have changed quite a few things, and there are some choices that I dislike. It pissed me off, actually, that they copied so much from Humankind. It kind of annoys me. But regardless, I put a lot of hours in Civ 6. 5 was pretty good. I still enjoy 3. I actually don't know which one would be my favorite. Man, I still have the original Civilization 1 inbox for Amiga. I still have it. It's over there. It's in the background over there. Thank you, Quadrex. Have a good one. Oh, that's kind of cool, Nicholas. I didn't know that about the War game. Games Workshop game for Elrond. Favorite anime? Probably Evangelion. Evangelion was an anime I just loved when I was like 15. And it kind of stuck. And then what else? Blame is pretty good as well. But then again, Lodoss War, Record of Lodoss War is one of my favorites too. It's difficult to pinpoint one, but these three would be among my favorite. I love classical music, Noland, yeah. Just today I was playing some Chopin. Fly Me to the Moon, that's the ending song for Evangelion, isn't it? Yeah, I like Lupin. Lupin. Always loved that one. I actually liked I remember liking the PlayStation 2 game, Lupin game. I remember that one was kind of fun. Controversial take, Kirby's awesome. Kirby's good. My wife likes Kirby. She's got a few games with Kirby. I think she even has, I think my wife has a Kirby plushie somewhere in this house. Did I ever play Kingdom of Amalur? Yes. It's the one written by R.A. Salvatore, right? He wrote, it's the same writer for Drizzt Do'Urden, the Dark Elf and whatnot. He wrote the story for that one, and you could tell, like, the story is really nice. It was a pretty good, not my favorite RPG, but it was pretty good. It was kind of a mixture between Fable and something a bit more traditional fantasy, maybe like, that's what I would describe it. It always reminded me of Fable, and I'm a huge enjoyer of Fable, by the way. I wish they made a new one. Well, then again, if they made a new Fable now, would it be ideologically driven and full of politics? Maybe. I don't know. Probably. I mean, after what happened to Dragon Age, now I'm like skeptical with all games. I'm skeptical when it's an established series and they come back with it. I'm like, yes, but that's what I say. I'm like, yeah, but let me see. Because if it's a little bit, I don't care. But if it's Dragon Age Veilguard level, I'm like, yeah, no, you're not getting my money. So it depends. You're the same, Daxfile? There you go. Yeah. That's what I mean. Like, even with Oblivion Remaster, yeah, when I went to the character creation and I found the body type 1, body type 2, I cringed, I'll be honest. But then again, I modded it and I played the game. It wasn't a big deal because the game wasn't influenced by it. It's not like anything else happens. But Dragon Age Veilguard is unrecognizable. That's not a Dragon Age. It just isn't. And yeah, I think they should be ashamed of that. The whole studio should be ashamed of what they did to that franchise. How the mighty have fallen in games. I know. Well, not everyone, though. Are you going to pay $100 for GTA 6? Regularly, I would say no. But then again, since I have a gaming channel now, if I see that if I spend $100 and it becomes seed money and then I get a good video and gets a lot of views, then that would be the only way in which I would justify it and I would write it off. But if I couldn't write it off, not a chance. No, not $100 for that. Absolutely not. It's kind of a funny way to see it, Clint. I don't think they are gonna like that. But yeah. What's the best Halo game? For me, Halo 2, but mostly because I have the best memories with my mates. Need Fable 2 on PC. They never made it on PC, really? I finished Fable 2. It's pretty good. Have you seen trailers? Populous the beginning was a fun one. Oh yeah, for sure, with the shamans. Yeah. Totally. Totally. A Japanese technique for fixing pottery. Yeah, I mean, kintsugi. Cool, but then again, I don't know if I would want to watch an entire video that tells me about a Japanese technique for fixing pottery. I mean, it's very specific, isn't it? The sad dream says the sad part, they're probably proud of ruining it instead. Maybe rather than proud of ruining it, they don't even think they did ruin it. To them, it feels like it's an improvement. And that's the problem. They don't even think that they are ruining it. They think they have improved it, which is ridiculous. Goodness gracious. Yeah. I just think Kintsugi looks pretty. Oh no, I believe you. Not sure if chat can handle a GTA 6 trailer reaction. I'll react to it. How long is the trailer? I'll react to it. Brack says, as a Christian, would you feel comfortable saying, in the year of our Lord Krishna, up the irons? I mean, I can read it. I don't believe it, though. So there is that. I can still read it. The only thing as a Christian that I'm never going to be comfortable in saying is blasphemy. I've never been like blasphemous words, never done it in my life, and never will. So that I'll never read. In fact, that is one of the very few things that I don't allow in my comment sections, because I never touch the comment section regardless of what people accuse me of. Like, I never do. People can say whatever they want. But the one thing that I draw the line is if people like go there, and I don't even care if they insult me, I don't care. If they insult religion, I don't particularly care. But if they specifically insult God, and often it's the Italian one, it's fellow Italians that do it. It's just a thing. I don't know why in Italy, particularly in the north, I'll be honest, but it is a thing that Italians do that. And when I see that, it's immediate ban. So basically what that means is that I will never see any of your comments ever again. That's what happens when I hide. So you still watch the content and you will type comments, but I will never see them. And that's the only case in which I do it. So that's immediate ban with me. Keith says, World of Antiquity could have made a whole YouTube video with his reply to you. Yeah, he could have. I guess he didn't want to, prefer to write the comment. That's fine. It's up to him. It's his content production, I guess. But yeah, it was very long. Yeah, Jack, but even older Italians do, particularly, as I say, particularly in the north, it's a thing. I can't elaborate, Javin, because I can't say it. But yeah. For some reasons, Italians are very colorful in the way they insult God. And I have never understood why in such a otherwise very Christian country. I wonder why that evolved that way. But as I say, particularly in the north, people in the south do it too, and it pisses me off, but it's a lot less common. And when it happens because they are honestly angry, like something terrible happened. But people in the north, they say it just as a way to say it's like a linguistic tick almost, depending on, not everyone in the north, obviously I have to specify, but it is definitely a lot more common. Seen the Pope Trump yet? I saw some images. Yeah, was he made with was that made with grok, is it? There we go, Daniele. I can testify. I'm Furlan. We and the Venetians, oh my gosh, are among those who say such blasphemies more often. Yeah, and my dad is from Friuli as well. My dad is from Udine, so that's why I say that, like, I'm familiar. I've been to Friuli many times, and sometimes I was like, it's so strange because among all of the Nordic people and all of the northern accents in Italy, I personally find the Furlan, so the accent in Friuli, to be, it's very northern to my ear, but it's on the sweeter side. It has a sweet, particularly if it's like women, but in general, it has a sweet value, color to it, like as opposed to maybe like a Milan accent, which is very different, of course. And yet, I was like, what did he just say? For what? Because he wants an ice cream? Like, it confuses me sometimes. But yeah. Make papal states great again. Oh my gosh. So you ask, what Italian cities do you think every non-Italian should see if they visit? Well, it depends on how much time you have, how long you've got, but definitely Milan is a wonderful city. You should totally visit it. But I would say go to Rome first. The eternal city has to be visited. Florence is another one that I think shouldn't miss. Venice is one of a kind. That's what I proposed to my wife, by the way, in Venice. Because I'm a man of tactics and strategy, my friends. And then my city, Palermo in Sicily, is definitely worth it. It's gorgeous in a different way. Naples too is very beautiful, but mostly like the Amalfi Coast. If you don't have time to go to Naples, maybe do the Amalfi Coast. There is so much to see really in Italy. And glory to Pompey. Yeah, that's what I... Man, if you only have 10 days though, I wouldn't visit more than 3 cities. If you only have 10 days, maybe 2, maximum 3. If you do 10 cities, 10 days, you've seen nothing. I mean, what can you see in Rome? In one day in Rome, nothing. You don't see anything. So at that point, and plus when you visit Rome, you can also visit the Vatican, St. Peter. That's a whole thing, and that probably going to take you like 1 day on its own. So yeah, if you have 10 days, I would say 5 days in Rome, one of which is in the Vatican, and then the other 5, pick the one that you're more interested in, whether it be Florence, whether it be Milan, whatever you want. And then maybe Sicily could be something you could do as a separate trip. But then again, I mean, things are not far though. Like, particularly if you're from America, the flights are going to be a joke to you. The flights are going to be a joke to you. So you can fly a 45-minute flight and you are from Rome. You went from Rome to Palermo. So it's like, not even an hour. So it is doable. It is doable. No woman can say no to an engagement ring in Venice, I bet. Oh yeah. Trembling, absolutely. Venice is gorgeous. I agree, Daniela. Yeah, Rome and Venice are the most iconic. And I mean, Florence is important. Syracuse, totally. In Sicily, yeah. You know what grinds my gears? Where did this whole power plant pyramid thing ever come from? I don't know who's the first one to say, but I do know that one of the 3 guys with this whole situation with the discoveries under the pyramids, Armando May, is absolutely peddling the idea that because he did say it, I found it. He did say, not in the original conference, but I was like, oh, this sounds familiar. And then on a separate interview, he actually said he thinks that the shafts that they found, that they say they found under the pyramids, it's possible that they are used for energy reasons, like energy production. And I'm like, okay. But for a moment, I don't believe that, but for a moment, let me entertain this. Let's say that, yes, the shafts under the pyramids are used to produce energy. Fantastic. What did they use the energy for? Because we never found a freaking computer. We never found any equipment or weapon that was like lamps, a freaking lamp. So what do you use? What is the purpose for a civilization to produce energy if they do not have the technology to use said energy? Unless what he means is that the energy was used for the aliens. He didn't say it, but at this point, I mean, he did work with Malanga, and Malanga is always about aliens. He didn't talk about aliens in this case, but he does talk about aliens a lot. So at this point, maybe is it really so strange for me? Is it really a straw man for me to say 1 + 1 may equal 2 in this case? I don't know. And as I say, I love anything that talks about ancient aliens. I love it. And I love watching the stuff. I love reading it. I find it intriguing. And as I say, I can't disprove the idea that, who knows, maybe we were visited 50,000 years ago. Who knows? But I'm not a supporter of that idea, because oftentimes the people that peddle them talk about it as a matter of fact. But then if it needs to be a matter of fact, we need evidence at that point. And then if you give me the evidence, I will be making the video. I'll make the video and I said, hey guys, I just want to introduce you to Tommy. Tommy's a Grey, and he's sitting right next to me. And he said, you better do the collaboration with me, because reptilians, no, those guys. So yeah. Why you think Filippo Biondi goes with them? I don't know. I think Filippo Biondi tolerates them. I'll just put it this way. I honestly think Filippo Biondi tolerates them. So they do their thing. They speak about the alien kidnapping because there is the alien who's about to die, like Corrado Malanga explains his words. There is an alien who's about to die, so they take your soul, your spirit, sorry, not the soul, the spirit, because he says they're different. They take your spirit from humans so that they harvest them so that they can put them in the body of the alien to extend his life. That's what he says. And honestly, when they say this stuff, probably Filippo is on his phone. He's on his phone, they say there's things, and then he's like, oh, okay, yeah, let's have a look at the SAR technology. That's what I think. Okay? I can't prove it, but that's what I think. And the giant crocodile, that's how Malanga usually he says there are the little guys, I guess. Are they greys? I don't know. And then there is the giant crocodile with the tail, and there is that. Oh, watch YouTube slap a reptilian note under this live stream now. Well, at least it would make sense, because the last time they slapped one reptilian note was under a video that did not speak about the aliens, which is why I'm thinking, are you trying to say that I'm wearing a skin suit? Huh? Is that what this is? Do you like Italian opera? Yeah, but honestly, there are other things I want to do more than listening to opera. Wait, reptilians and greys are aliens? LOL, says Bochal on Twitch. Yeah, I know. Ancient Egyptians had iPhones. I wonder if they used a lightning cable, I guess, or maybe the fact that now they don't anymore. It's going back to the origins. Who knows? But yeah. Let's see. Yeah, Dreamheart presents a good idea. You say I can get using Jesus' name in surprise. It doesn't really seem like a curse. No, yeah, I don't consider it to be a curse. Some people do it. I don't. I don't like to say, when I'm surprised, I say Mamma Mia. But some people do it. Whatever. Yeah, I'm not offended by that. Andromeda, what a cool name. Just found your video after watching that professor who lied in his Roman Greek mythology video. I love that you... It wasn't mythology, though. I think it was... Oh, no, you mean the other one. Yeah, the guy that was all about, like, every 15 seconds he would say Africa. Yeah, I remember that guy. I love that you're teaching history with truth. I can't wait to check out your other videos. You're going to like the video I posted today, then. Although, this professor today is much better than that professor you watched. That one was terrible. But, yeah. Like Necrons. Yeah, like Necrons, exactly. Necrons do have, like, the flying pyramid, don't they? Yeah. Great channel, Metatron. Thank you, Ragnar. I really appreciate that. You know what I've been thinking lately? There is a video I would like to make to discuss something that I've just found out recently. Let me see if I can find it. Do you guys know what Alice in Wonderland syndrome is? Because I didn't up to very recently, and only now I found out that I actually had that condition, that syndrome, when I was a child. And so I thought, you know, I'd like to make a video about it, because I think there are plenty of people. It's kind of rare, I think. We're going to read it now. We're going to look for it, see how rare it is, the diagnosis. But it is something that I think statistically, someone watching now may have experienced. You still have it, Kinan? There you go. You see? I stopped having it. I only had it as a child for some time. But it is something that is more common, and I had no idea that other people had this experience that I'm going to tell you about. And it's a fascinating thing, and I wanted to speak about it because I think if it helped me to find a random creator talking about it, I'm like, man, I had the same thing. I didn't know it was a thing. I thought it was just me. And I kind of want to do that too. So let me show you. Alice in Wonderland syndrome. I told you we were going to talk about deep stuff today. All right. Let's search for it on Google. Google usually is better. All right. So I'm going to read a few definitions so we know what this is. It's basically an alteration in the perception of reality. And it functions in different ways. And not everyone experiences the same way. So I'll tell you how it was for me. But yeah, let me show you. So here it is. So let's have a look at the AI review first, and I'll tell you if it's kind of correct, and then we'll look into actual descriptions. So Alice in Wonderland syndrome, also known as Todd syndrome, is a rare neurological condition that causes temporary distortions in how a person perceives their body and the world around them. These distortions can include seeing things as larger or smaller than they are, experiencing changes in body size, or having a distorted sense of time. So, the one I had, that I absolutely did have, is the latter, the distorted sense of time. And I'll tell you how it was, because to me, apart from the fact that reading this stuff, and people still don't know why it happens, by the way. It could be something electrical in the brain that happens as you're growing up. It is more typical of children, although some adults do bring it with them. And I think we have one in the comments section right now. But yeah, as a child, I didn't see my body larger or smaller, which is where it takes its name. But it was absolutely the distorted sense of time did happen. So I'll give you all the details. Let's read a little more. So, Alice in Wonderland syndrome is a neurological disorder that affects how the brain processes sensory information, particularly visual and somatosensory information. It can be triggered by various factors, including migraines, epilepsy, infections, and brain injuries. This, I have to say, from the AI is still... It's not exact because it makes it like a categorical statement, whereas they are still trying to figure out what causes it. It's still something that you're not sure. And then while it's a rare condition, it's estimated that a small percentage of the population may experience symptoms of Alice in Wonderland syndrome at some point in their lives. And that's why I want to talk about it. That's why I want to talk about it. Because to me, I absolutely had it. It happened to me maybe for a few years, maybe 2 or 3 years between, if my memory is correct, I would say between age 9 to 11, and then it stopped. Something like that. But it did happen a lot, and it happened mostly at night and mostly when I was laying down, just to give you an idea. So I'll tell you how it was. But in the meantime, let me read the super chat. Abdullah, what did the ancient mean by the name Africa? Oh, usually just a region in the north. It changes though, like for instance, Africa Proconsularis is one of the provinces, one of the areas. The meaning of Africa changes throughout time. Did they mean today's Tunisia? Yeah, it's mostly, as I say, it depends. Sometimes a section of Algeria as well, Tunisia, Algeria, but it changes. It enlarges, expands, or shrinkens depending on the period. But it's not the entire continent. No, definitely not in ancient Rome. Thank you for the question. And then let me see what you guys say. DJ says, you see proportions weird. That's one thing that I'm told it happens. Yes. Keenan says, and I love reading this, it happens to me when I have a slight fever or get too hot. The room grows and shrinks around me. Fantastic. So what Keenan is describing here, or Keenan is describing for us here today, I appreciate that you're here, by the way, while we're doing this. If anyone else had this experience, do tell me, because it's nice. I've never spoken to anyone else who had these kind of experiences. So the one that Keenan has experienced is the one that is visual in nature, and that's why they call it like this, by the way, because when you think of Alice in Wonderland, she's massive and everything is small, and then sometimes she becomes very little and now every object is huge. So that's one of these versions. Now Wikipedia actually has a good article about it, but also does Cleveland Clinic. So let's see what we can learn from Cleveland Clinic about this. Let's see. So we already read that. Let's see. Yeah, look. So who does Alice in Wonderland syndrome affect? Alice in Wonderland syndrome seems most common in children, with some research studies indicating that nearly 2/3 of cases happen in people under age 18. So when I read this, I was like, oh yeah, totally. In addition to children, is more likely to happen in people with certain brain-related conditions, I guess. Let's see. All right, let's have a look at the Wikipedia article because I thought it was pretty good. For once. For once, guys. There he is. So, yeah, you see the cause is currently unknown. This is the last time I checked because I looked into it. I literally went down the rabbit hole. And today we are going down the rabbit hole, let me tell you that much. Is there a sensational version of it? Yes, Javin. When I was a child, I often felt like my bed was moving and spinning while I was trying to sleep. That's exactly it. Never had it explained to me. This is what it is. So let me tell you how it worked for me. And then we get back to this and we read more about it. But here is how it happened to me, so maybe you can relate to that. So when I was a child and I would get in bed, it was night, what happened is that all of a sudden, as I was trying to sleep, maybe still with my eyes open, two things would happen. Either time would feel accelerated, as if like a fast forward, but like it was for VHS. So everything around me looked like it was super fast. Instead, I was moving. If I tried to move my hand, it would look like this. So a distortion in the perception of time. But everything around felt like it was so fast it would make my head spin. So mine was time related. This is one way. Another way is that sometimes it would feel opposite and it's like I was underwater. So everything was like super slow around me, like I was experiencing reality in slow motion. But if I tried to move, I would feel like everything was so fast. And both occasions would give me a feeling of sickness and would make me feel dizzy. And I'll be honest with you, a couple of times I actually got scared because I was a child and I had no idea what the heck was happening. But I didn't know how to express it to my parents because what are you going to say? And even the way I'm describing it now, of course, it's not the same as I would have described it as a child. Basically bullet time, yeah, as one of the ideas. And yes, it was also auditory. So if there were sounds, they sounded sped up. Thank you for the question, Rav. So the way I experienced it was mostly with the perception of the passing of time and how things would move around me. So this is how it was for me. And it happened for a while. It was basically like, okay, that's how... And I thought either it happened only to me, or sometimes I thought, well, maybe everyone experiences this because as a child, you have no idea. And then as a teenager, it stopped. And so I just forgot about it completely until I started watching. I just ran into a YouTuber by chance that was experiencing it. And I'm like, wait, I had the same thing. And then I went into this rabbit hole. Yeah. Oh, no, it's completely gone now, St. Nicholas. I haven't had this problem for like 20 years, no longer than that, almost 30 years, in fact. It's gone completely. I never had it ever again. But it's crazy because I remember it as if it was yesterday. So it did leave a mark into my memories. So yeah, that's how it was. Kaladin also had it. Mine was during a hot summer. So I see a few of you are connecting it to heat. I wonder if I was hot in it. Now I don't know. But it would have been interesting to know if it happened to me in summer mostly. Who knows? I don't know, actually. Yeah. Same for you, Pastramic? Well, there you go. That's why I'm making this video. Like, I'm talking about it now, and I'll probably post it as a video. Because, yeah. There we go. Look, Francisco Funari says, I maybe had this. What, WTF? How didn't I know about it? I didn't know about it. I found out, maybe it was like very recently. I found out about this, and then another thing that I had was lucid dreaming. That's another thing that I found out later. And I was like, what, you mean you don't know you're dreaming while you're dreaming? Like, that's something that happened to me a lot. In fact, I practiced a lot of my language learning in my lucid dreaming, I'll be honest. But yeah, it's that's another thing that I thought everyone had. And then I found out, no, a lot of people don't know they're dreaming. And there are even people that don't dream at all. I'm like, really? So like I dream every night. Every night I dream, and sometimes, not all the dreams, but some dreams I'm lucid. But today I don't really want to talk about lucid dreaming. I mostly want to talk about this. So let's get back to it, and let's see what else we can learn, and see if any of you had any experience that is more on the visual hallucinatory aspect of it. Because my visual thing was only that things moved fast, but I didn't see things getting larger. But it's going to get crazy. It's going to get crazy. All right. So let's see. Classification, it says it's not universally agreed upon in literature. However, some authors distinguish true Alice in Wonderland syndrome based solely on symptoms related to alteration in a person's body image. Okay, so not the one I have. In contrast, they utilize the term Alice in Wonderland-like syndrome to encompass symptoms associated with changes in perception of vision, time, hearing, touch, and other external perceptions. So basically, it still hasn't been classified, but definitely mine would have been the second. Mine would have been the latter, because I never seen stuff getting bigger and smaller. Still fascinating though. So, with over 60 associated symptoms, Alice in Wonderland syndrome affects the sense of vision, sensation, touch, and hearing, as well as the perception of one's body image. Migraines, nausea, dizziness. Yeah, you see? Dizziness. That's what I mean. Like, do remember that, like, I knew all of these things, and then I started reading this, and I'm like, oh yeah, totally. Yeah, I did feel dizzy. And agitation, occasionally. I did tell you just now that I was scared a couple of times. Also commonly associated symptoms with Alice in Wonderland syndrome. Less frequent symptoms also include loss of limb control, never happened. Coordination, memory loss, no. Lingering touch and sound sensations. Maybe, but it says lingering, so no. Emotional instability, no. And it says Alice in Wonderland syndrome is often associated with distortion of sensory perception, which involves visual, somatosensory, probably the one that, and non-visual symptoms. So let's have a look at the visual distortion, because I think these are the craziest ones, even though it's not the one I had. Yeah, it does say that some people that use some versions of psychedelic drugs can experience similar symptoms to this. So imagine that your body's actually doing it on its own, and we don't know why. But yeah, oh, sleep paralysis. I only experienced that one once. I'll tell you about it later. I hope I never experience it ever again. Visual distortions. Individuals with AIWS can experience illusions of expansion, reduction, or distortion of their body image, such as microsomatognosia, feeling that their own body or body parts are shrinking, or macrosomatognosia, feeling that their body or body parts are growing taller or larger. If any of you had this, please tell us about it and I'll read your description. These changes in perception are collectively known as or Lilliputian hallucinations, which refer to objects appearing either smaller or larger than reality. People with certain neurological diseases may also experience similar visual hallucinations. We'll see if there is a video that actually shows how this could feel like, because I think people did make it. Like a video that approximates how it may feel like for people that experience the visual hallucinatory version of this disorder. That's funny, DJ. Within the category of Lilliputian hallucinations, people may experience either it's an abnormal visual condition usually occurring in the context of visual hallucination, in which the affected person sees objects as being smaller than they are in reality. And then, of course, everything it says is larger in the opposite version. It's fascinating, really. It's fascinating. So Kaladin shares with us, I shrank, big sugar cubes and teacups with supergiant people around talking in low-frequency sounds, followed with shortness of breath. Man, that's fascinating. Do you still have that, or is it something that is gone? Like it's something you only had as a child? Yeah. So, let's see the depersonalization and derealization version. Alongside with size, mass, and shape, distortions of the body, those with Alice in Wonderland syndrome often experience as feeling of disconnection for one's own body, feelings, thoughts, and environment, known as depersonalization, derealization disorder. Depersonalization is a term specifically used to express a true detachment from the personal self and identity. It is described as being an observer. Oh, I see. So kind of like I see. Yeah, never heard that, no. There we go. Here it is. Hearing and time distortions. This is mine, so let's have a look. Individuals experiencing Alice in Wonderland syndrome can also often experience paranoia, I didn't have that, as a result of disturbances in sound perception. These disturbances can include the amplification of soft sounds, yes, or the misinterpretation of common sounds. No, I didn't have that, but I can see how that could be really scary. Like you hear a sound and it sounds like something else in a context where that wouldn't. Oh my gosh, that's like nightmare fuel. Nightmare fuel. Other auditory changes include distortion in pitch and tone, and hearing indistinguishable and strange voices, noises, or music. Luckily, I didn't have that. A person affected with AIWS may also lose a sense of time, a problem similar to the lack of spatial perceptive brought on by visual distortion. This condition is known as tachysensia. I don't know if I'm mispronouncing that. But look, for those with tachysensia, time may seem to pass very slowly, similar to an LSD experience. I never had an LSD experience, but the time's passing slowly. Absolutely. And the lack of time and space perspective can also lead to a distorted sense of velocity. Boom, it's right there. Like when I read this, it was such a moment of clarity. Then I'm like, oh my gosh, that happened to me for years. And I had no idea. And they do say that this Alice in Wonderland disorder, syndrome, I don't know if it's a disorder, it often is not, diagnosed because people that have it don't even know. And so they don't talk to the doctor. So to me, this is important to make a video about it, because if you have a child who experiences this, then it's good that you can talk to them about it. And then just to finish it up, for example, an object could be moving extremely slowly in reality, but to a person experiencing time distortions, it could seem that the object was sprinting uncontrollably along a moving walkway, leading to a severe, overwhelming disorientation. To a dot. Exactly this. Exactly this. Having symptoms of tachysensia is correlated with various underlying conditions, including substance use, not my case, migraine, I did have headaches a lot and migraines as a child, epilepsy, no, head trauma, no, and encephalitis, no. Regardless of an individual's disease diagnosis, tachysensia is often, I hope I'm pronouncing it right, is often included as a symptom associated with Alice in Wonderland syndrome, since it is classified as a perceptual distortion. Therefore, a person can be described as having Alice in Wonderland syndrome, even if that person is experiencing tachysensia due to an underlying condition. And here we are, guys. It doesn't mention vertigo, but I guess if you experience vertigo together with this stuff or the visual hallucination, then I would imagine, yes, it would be part of that. Yeah. So let's see. One last thing before we change subject that I do want to check is this. There you go. So look. There are creators that talk about it, and I ran into one of these. I don't remember if it was this girl, maybe, or it was someone else, but yeah, there are creators that speak about it on YouTube, and I wish they would get some good views, because I think it would help. How about we watch a little bit of one, just a little bit. For instance, let me see, I remember, like, how long is it? 7 minutes. We can watch a little bit of this one. And it's a vlog. As you see, it's and I remember, like, in a vloggy way, I think it's a good way to speak about it, right? Our brains are supercomputers, man. Brains are fascinating. Let's see what she has to say about it.
Hey everyone, welcome to my YouTube channel. I've recently opened up about having Alice in Wonderland syndrome, and since then, you guys have been asking me tons of questions about my condition. So after some consideration, I've decided to do a Q&A on Instagram, and here I am going to be answering your questions. So let's get started.
So she still has it to this day.
For those of you who don't know what Alice in Wonderland syndrome is, it's a rare neurological disorder characterized by distortion of perception.
Yeah.
Why is it called Alice in Wonderland syndrome, right? Like, that's quite a funny name. Is it related to the book Alice in Wonderland? Dr. John Todd is the psychiatrist who discovered and named this disorder. He named it after Alice in Lewis Carroll's book Through the Looking Glass, because the misperceptions that the individuals experience resemble to what happened to Alice in Wonderland in
I wonder if that inspired in a way the author. Who knows?
that book, hence its name. When did you realize that you had Alice in Wonderland syndrome? There was something unusual happening to me. I was in grade 1 at the time, and I remember my teacher, she was getting bigger in my eyes. And I told her that, and I believe she took it the wrong way and ended up giving me a timeout.
That's why teachers like that should not be teachers. Like, how could you do that? Like, if a child tells you that, you have to investigate it. It's ridiculous.
Instances like this kept happening to me over time.
Right.
And I also remember getting abnormal headaches and migraines as a child.
You see, just like what I said. And I didn't even remember she said this. I watched this maybe. I think I remember watching this, but a while ago, not a while ago, a few months ago, though, because it is still a recent discovery even for me. That's crazy.
I wondered if it was normal for someone my age to have this many migraines.
Right.
And the doctor told me that the mean age of Alice in Wonderland syndrome onset was 8.5 years old.
Really?
What are the symptoms of Alice in Wonderland syndrome?
Right.
I filmed myself walking around school to show you what I would experience.
Here it is.
As you can see, the garbage got bigger. This is one type of distortion that affects me and my behavior throughout the day. To be quite frank, it impedes my social interactions with numerous individuals. Many of the symptoms that we experience include the inability or strongly diminished ability to perceive color. The next one is lines and contours appearing to be wavy. And the most common of these symptoms is distortion of seeing things smaller or larger than they normally are. What all these symptoms have in common is that they constitute distortions of sensory perception rather than hallucinations or illusions. Hallucinations are sensations that appear to be real but are created within the mind, while illusions have a source in the outside world that is oftentimes misperceived or misinterpreted by the brain.
I think she did a really good job, by the way she's explaining it.
Distortions are based on sensory impressions, but include specific changes in highly specific aspects of the sensory input picture. So the video I just showcased is an example of a sensory distortion. Now, I am fortunate in a sense that I do not experience these symptoms every day, because the duration of symptoms tend to vary.
Same, I didn't experience that thing every day, mostly at night.
From some individuals experiencing symptoms that perceived for like a few minutes, but others have symptoms that persist for days. How many reported cases are there since it's considered so rare, right? Unfortunately, the prevalence of Alice in Wonderland syndrome is unknown. So personally, I do not know how many individuals in the world are affected by this disorder. One of the reasons is that there are not many studies that are conducted on a large scale for this, and the diagnostic criteria lacks consensus amongst the medical community. Major classifications such as the Diagnostic and Statistical Manual of Mental Disorders does not list AIWS as a diagnostic criteria, whereas the International Classification of Diseases and the American Psychiatric Association does pay attention to it. Alright, moving on to the next question. How is Alice in Wonderland syndrome diagnosed? When I was 8, I was officially diagnosed with the condition.
So she was diagnosed with the condition. Yeah, the editing is pretty good. She was diagnosed with the condition, so that's a difference for me. I just figured out in my freaking 40s that this thing exists, which is why I wanted to talk about it here on the channel. Yeah. Samuel says, I wonder if the visual issues could have something to do with the optic nerve. I mean, it's a good idea, but she says it's mostly interpretation. So maybe it's the brain, like it's either the signal goes through your eyes correctly, and then the brain misinterprets it, or there is a problem with the collection of the signal. Who knows? No problem, Lady Jennifer. Thank you so much for being here. God bless you.
The differential diagnosis of Alice in Wonderland syndrome and its individual symptoms is complex. It can be easily misdiagnosed. Not only do the symptoms need to be differentiated from other positive disorders of perception, such as, like I mentioned, hallucinations and illusions, but a variety of conditions such as brain lesions and various fevers need to be established and ruled out. Out of 166 patients, 22.9% of these individuals suffered from infectious diseases.
22.9 is pretty high, but still it also means that there is a 78% that didn't, 77.1% that didn't, so there's that. Craig says, the visual cortex of the brain is massive and can vary in size depending on your environment, so there's much that could go wrong, wonky, I guess. You're right, yeah, maybe. I'd like to know more about this. Yeah, young Metatron was delusional. Yeah, a little bit, I guess.
before being diagnosed with AIWS, and 21.7% of those individuals were less
Right.
than 18 years of age. So, because of this finding, my doctor suggested I get an MRI to see if there were infectious diseases that could be responsible
Yeah, and of course, it wasn't a case of infectious diseases. Okay, let's see if she speaks about the time one.
for syndromes. Furthermore, AIWS is characterized by perceptual disorders rather than hallucinations and illusions, as I
Right.
mentioned earlier. Therefore, this needs to be distinguished from schizophrenia spectrum and other psychotic disorders. So this may lead you guys to wonder, are there any treatments for AIWS? And this is a great question, but there currently is no specific
No
treatment
specific,
plan.
yeah.
Doctors will give
Well, awareness, it's already a step in a good direction, I think. Awareness. But yeah, very cool. So thank you. What's her name? Thank you, Demystifying Medicine. Oh, that's what she does. Okay, cool. Does she still post? Because this was 5 years ago. 3 weeks ago. Yeah, she's still active. I don't know. It's not only her though. It's multiple creators, I think. Yeah. They have several people. Yeah, look. I don't know if this is, I don't think this is, no, yeah. So it's one of those channels that have a lot of different creators and cool. But anyways, very nice. That did help. So it's one of the topics that I did want to talk about. Thank you, Tyler Brown, for the donation. I have cerebral palsy. Could this cause Alice in Wonderland syndrome? Who knows? Did you ever experience it, Tyler? Did you ever experience either the sensory one with time or the visual by the way she has described it? Because it was quite eloquently described, I would say. But yeah, it was to me it was fascinating. Just checking the comments. I've had one good teacher. It's sad. I see that Akron Live. Yeah, when I was teaching in school, man, I taught for almost 10 years. I'd always try to be that good teacher, listening to the students, doing my job because of passion, preparing, spending time, all of that, always being available if they needed to ask me questions. Never, I think one of the indicators of a good teacher is that a good teacher will never make you feel stupid for asking a question, even if the question may have an obvious answer. But yeah, a lot of my former colleagues, unfortunately, just do it for the money and because that's the job they have, but they end up hating it. And then you can tell, when the difference between a teacher who's passionate and a teacher who doesn't care, massive, really, really big. But yeah. Oddie shares, oh, I had lucid dreams once every 2 years. Well, that's very routine oriented. I did not know that about adrenaline rush, Craig. That's cool. Interesting. That is fascinating. True. Yeah, I mean, pay is low, but then again, everything is contextual. Like, for instance, in Sicily, there is no job. The unemployment is extremely high. So you will sometimes do a job, even if you don't like it, because it gives you a pay. So even a low pay is better than no pay in situation with a very high unemployment rate. And so I think I was mostly speaking about the context in Italy. Because, yeah, in the US, I see like a lot of teenagers work. A lot of Italian teenagers don't. And also in the US, there is this idea of, oh my gosh, I've been unemployed for 2 weeks or so. And I'm like, 2 weeks? I guess it has changed and it varies state by state. There are statistics that would have to be seen. But I have seen Americans complaining about being unemployed for 4 weeks. And I'm like, I know people who have been unemployed their entire life. They never found a job. And this, unfortunately, in Italy happens even to people who have PhDs. Imagine that you study so much to get a PhD, unemployed. It happens a lot. And to me, that is one of the main problems with Italy, is that Italy is a wonderful country. And as a touristic place, oh, go. Absolutely. You're going to love it. But as a place to live I have to say that unfortunately, Italy, the government in general, I'm not even talking about factions, I'm saying in general, it doesn't really support talent and merit. And that is a problem because then talent goes abroad. That's what happens to us. We generate highly educated individuals because I think the Italian university system, which is accessible to everyone, literally, it's not, I think in America, the problem is that unless you have the money, it's difficult to actually go into higher studies. But in Italy, everyone can. And if you don't have the money, the government will pay for you. So you just pay taxes, but it's like $500 a year and you can still get a university education, and that's something I like. But on the flip side, we produce highly educated individuals, but then we don't give them a job, so they leave. And in other words, we are enriching other countries' intelligence, although then again, intelligence and education are not always connected, but do allow me to not have to explain every word. Of course, you can have people who are intelligent and are not educated, and you have very educated idiots. But regardless, I'm saying that you take people that are very skilled, right, and have very, very engineers and translators and linguists and medics, surgeons, and they go abroad. Not a good thing, is it? And then you still have, instead in Italy, you have a lot of government positions and jobs that are excellent, and they have people there entrenched that are like 85 and refuse to leave for the younger generation. It's yeah, Italy has its big problems. It's such a shame. There we go. So Daniele, there you go. An Italian, fellow Italian, is confirming. Yeah, it's like I'm speaking from experience, honestly. And I didn't have this problem, by the way. Immediately after university, I moved to Japan, spent a few years there. When I went back to Italy, I found a job immediately. Why? Because I spoke Japanese, English, Italian. Not a lot of people could speak Japanese. So it was easy for me to find a job because I literally found something. And then after that, as I was teaching, then the YouTube thing started. And so I'm like, you know what? I'll stop teaching because I'd rather continue to teach, but I'll do it with a camera, because I did believe that would have been, because still don't imagine that my salary was that great as a teacher in Italy, regardless of what I was teaching. At one point it was okay because I was teaching through the university funds of, through the EU funds of university and research. I did that for about 2 years, and that was paid all right. From an American perspective, it wasn't paid very well. For an Italian perspective, it was actually paid well. Okay, not well, but okay. But when I was teaching regularly in schools, no, the pay was pretty bad. And that's why when I saw this YouTube thing, I'm like, you know what? I'm just going to invest all of it. I had to do a little bit of a leap of faith, because when I left my job, when I quit my job, I wasn't making that much on YouTube, but I believed in it. I thought there is potential here. And so that's when I decided to invest in becoming a full-time content creator. And yeah, it paid off. Definitely paid off. 100%. Which is why I always tell everyone, even if you have a job, if you like the idea of social media, you should try. You never know. You never know. So yeah. Sam is in Brazil. Very cool. I love Brazil. Craig says, with the science cuts in the US, do you think US PhDs will start going to Europe? I don't know. I mean, maybe. Yeah, I mean, there is the language thing, though, in the sense that Europeans tend to have, because Europeans tend to speak English. When we look at population percentages, they vary from country to country, but of course, everyone these days is encouraged to learn English. The opposite, how many Americans speak German. So I guess if it's a job that doesn't require you to know the language, then I suppose that could happen. But there is always the language barrier. Unless you go to the UK, then you don't have a language barrier. So it kind of depends. So yeah. Boa noite. Boa noite. Boa noite. I don't know if I pronounced it right, Sam. I tried. So yeah. Europe is welcome to them. Most of Americans' higher education institution is really rotten, says Dreamheart. Yeah, I have no idea, honestly. I wouldn't know. I can't really judge what I don't know. Man, we've got 444 people. That's wonderful. Welcome. Gringos, all yeah, like quite a few Germans do speak English. I think the further north you go, that's how it used to be. The further north you go in Europe, the better people speak English as a second language. The further south in Europe you go, the worse people speak English as a second language. But that changed a few, maybe 2 generations ago, because as I was telling you, 15-year-olds now, yeah, their English is pretty good in Italy too, but their parents is still not great. So it's kind of like it's kind of recent change, at least when it comes to Europe. And I think France doesn't have a lot of speakers. Switzerland, however, does, but Switzerland is special because they've got the 3 languages within one country anyways, French, German, and Italian. And which, by the way, blew my mind. The first time I went to Switzerland, I've been 5 times. First time I went to Switzerland, I drove there. I wasn't driving. I was in a, not a bus, but like more of a coach, is that what you call it? Whatever, a big bus. It was like 50 of us from Sicily, and we drove all the way from Sicily throughout all of Italy, and then crossed the Alps and went into Switzerland. So when we arrived in southern Switzerland, where they speak Italian, and I was mind blown because I had never been to another country that speaks my language. So, and by the way they speak Swiss Italian, it accent wise to me sounds a lot like a northern Italian accent. From that area, sort of, so really deep north. But then the way they use some words is very different. So sometimes they use words and I'm like, I have no idea what that means. Other times they'll use a word and I'm like, I understand it. I would never say it that way. But I guess there are more difference between the way they speak and the way I speak, being from the deep south, and an island on top of that, than from the ways maybe someone like Daniele here speaks. Still different, but maybe there will be some expressions that they might have in common. Anyways, it was fascinating. But regardless, I can understand it perfectly. Exception being words that I don't know what they mean. I actually made a video about it on my second channel where I actually review the words. So sometimes I'm like, I don't know what that means. But in a lot of cases, I still understand it because it's Italian. But it blew my mind to be able to enter a shop and speak Italian while I'm not technically in Italy. In theory, when you go to the Vatican, you're also not technically in Italy because it's its own country. But since geographically it's inside Italy, it doesn't really give you that feeling. You still feel like I'm in Rome, right? But when it comes, yeah, I get it. Yeah, they have the Swiss guard high, but that's it. Instead, when I went to Switzerland, it really gave me a weird feeling when it comes to, goodness gracious, I'm in another country and I'm speaking Italian. But then you cross into the German side, boom, I don't understand anything anymore. And then there is, of course, the French part. And here we are. Thank you. Say, Greg, so good to have you here, my man. I was waiting for you. Thank you for the support. Hello, Metatron. I wanted to say hi to you from my son who... What? My son who passed away this morning. He loved to watch your video and stream with me. He was laughing and smiling until the end and make, oh my gosh, promise to keep watching you with him. That is so... I'm so sorry to hear that, Greg. I'm really sorry to hear that. Oh my gosh. I mean, I don't know if you want to speak about it. Feel free, man. I'm more than happy to talk about it. If it's difficult to talk about it, don't, of course. Just whatever you feel comfortable sharing. But yeah, you've got our support, man. I'm so sorry to hear that. So sorry to hear that. And here we are. I think he's from Switzerland, by the way, originally. Greg, right? Because he moved to the Philippines and then moved back to... But yeah, anything I can do, my friend, just let me know. Like if there is a specific topic that maybe can help you to get your mind distracted, just say the word, man. Just say the word. I'll make it for you. Hi, come here. The wife is here.
Did something happen?
Yeah, no, Greg just shared, one of the main supporters of the channel just lost his son. Yeah, I know. So sorry to hear that, man. So sorry to hear that.
I'm so sorry.
Yeah, he wrote this, yeah. But I appreciate you sharing it here with us, Greg, and absolutely. Just come join every stream, man. Just come join every stream. Your wife too.
Absolutely.
Yeah. Come join the streams. Just hang out with us. We're live a lot, so do feel you're always welcome here.
My deepest condolences.
Yeah.
Oh my goodness.
Thomas says, hello from Germany here in my region, Westphalia. The second language is Turkish. Really? Man,
That's
I had no
cool.
idea. I had no idea. Yeah, no idea.
That's nice.
And let's see.
Are y'all reading things about the Bible?
No, this one was here for earlier. I had a
Oh,
question,
okay.
but I actually forgot to go into it.
Hi, Twitch. Hi, everybody.
Hi everyone. Welcome to the stream.
Oh, everyone on Twitch is so nice as well.
Oh yeah, for sure.
Like for Greg.
Yeah, of course. Yeah. Let me see, Tyler. I might have missed your comments, so let me see if we can find them. And well, I'll look for them. I'll see if I can find them in a minute. Thank you, Greg, for the support. He made me promise to keep positive and laugh every day, so today I will have fun. Oh, that's good.
Yeah.
Sorry to break the mood. Oh, no, not at all.
Oh,
absolutely,
absolutely
mate.
not.
Not
No,
at all.
no.
Let's just have a laugh, guys. Much love to the noble one. I really appreciate that. Man, you're a strong man. Let me tell you that much. We can all learn from you, man. We can all learn from you. But yeah, never apologize. You share whatever you feel like sharing. This is an open
Safe space.
comment. Yeah, safe space, open
Absolutely.
comment section. Say whatever you feel. How do I feel about the diversity of South African languages? I always found Afrikaans a fascinating language. I only heard it spoken a few times. It's kind of like related to Dutch,
Is it?
but it's from South Africa.
That's cool.
Yeah, because of the Dutch colonists and the people
Yeah.
living there. American wife? Yeah, guys. My wife
Yeah.
is from America. That's why I live in America now.
Hello.
Hi. Yeah. You speak Afrikaans? Disturbed Monkey? Wow, what a name.
That's cool.
Yeah. Have you watched that video I was trying to share with you yesterday? No, not yet, no. Yesterday, actually, I did 5 hours of streaming. And then after the streaming, I'll be honest with you, what did I do? I wrote some scripts, worked on a little research, and then I was just playing. I was watching a debate between Alex O'Connor and a Christian apologist, and I found it very interesting, the debate. But that's really what I did, and then I just went to bed.
What is it? Derg Turgs.
I don't know.
Alabama gang rise up. Not from Alabama, but my mom is.
Yeah, no.
So.
Yeah, her mom is from Alabama. Yeah. Hi, Meta Wife says Akron Live on Twitch.
Hi, Akron Live.
We got a few subscribers on Twitch again, so that's
Thank you
nice.
so much. We love that.
Yeah, always. Always
Because
nice.
he like streams every day.
Yeah, I've been streaming a lot, and honestly, I like it, and I hope that I get used to it so I can do even longer streams. I think it's one of the things that you need to get used to.
She's from Russellville.
Oh, wow. Yeah, Greg is a warrior, absolutely. And then Akron Live says, in Australia, most of our indigenous languages are dying. We used to have hundreds of thousands. Hundreds of thousands, it's insane. Are you sure? Hundreds of thousands? But yeah, it's a shame. I love like the that type of language.
Wait,
really interesting
let
to
me make
know.
sure I'm not saying that right. I think it is Russellville. Yeah, it is.
Oh, good.
Because I was like thinking of Kentucky. I was like,
Uh-huh.
is it? No, it is Russellville, Alabama.
Oh, nice.
I know she's from Alabama, but
Yeah.
I was trying to think if it was
Which
if it was
town? Like, yeah.
the same as the
Yeah.
same one. But yeah,
Yeah. Thank you, Trent, for supporting the stream. I love your channel, dude. Thank you so much, my friend.
thank you.
You're great.
You speak good American.
You speak great American.
America.
And, yeah. Sweet Home Alabama. Yeah, what a song.
Sweet home Alabama.
Totally. They're asking if you speak Latin. No, but
I don't know. I speak good Latin though.
yeah.
He doesn't. I do.
Yeah.
No, I'm just kidding.
But she's learning Italian. We've been speaking it more lately. She's doing a great job.
Sì.
Yeah.
Mi piace un sacco italiano.
L'italiano, sì. Sì.
Thank you, Tyler. I appreciate that.
Sì. Most of indigenous people in Australia ever used to be bio-trilingual, depending on the area. Awesome. I understand that because, I mean, in Sicily, we do speak Sicilian and Italian, but man, trilingual. I can see it. I wonder if, like, with
Wow.
Native Americans was like that too, between tribes. Probably.
It's like that in Aruba, believe it or not.
Is it?
We've been to Aruba a few times, and every single person, like especially like cab drivers, people that work in the resorts and stuff, they all speak at least 3 languages.
Por favor, asks, how did you guys meet?
Oh man, do you want to say it?
What a story. Yeah, if you want, you can say it.
Well, we met online.
Yeah.
We met online. I literally like commented on one of his YouTube videos.
Yeah.
Like years ago, and it was about yokai.
Yes, that was a nice series.
Isn't it funny? I mean, it's fun. So it was about yokai, and I commented on one of his videos, and then he messaged me on Facebook,
Yeah.
and the rest was history.
Yeah, I messaged her on Facebook because her picture was hot. So I messaged her on Facebook.
And at the time, I was blonde.
Yeah, that's right.
No, we live in Tennessee.
Yeah. So, by the way, I did want to ask you one thing since you're
Yeet.
here. So, I
Yeet.
wanted to open my Guile,
Okay,
my Player 2 Guile with them,
very nice.
but I forgot like a knife.
Okay.
Is there any way you could get me a knife?
Yeah, can you use this?
I don't know if I don't know if it.
I thought you had the box cutter up here. One of them. There's two.
Ooh, you're right. I do. Wait,
I did it. I got it.
Oh, you okay?
Here
Never
you go.
mind. Okay, never mind. Yahoo, guys, we got Guile. Let's go. Let's
Did
have
you
a.
show them
Oh, careful, that
about
one
this?
moves. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I
Which
showed
way does
them.
it go?
Anyway, it's fine. Yeah, because it's a magnet. So, yeah, it's a
You're
little
a
like that.
magnet.
I'm a magnet. Thank you, Jezza G, for the support. Hey, Metatron, just want you to know that your videos are helping me too. Through a lot of hard times lately. Much love and big hugs to you and your family. Thank you so much. I'm glad to hear that.
Thank
Really
you so
appreciate
much.
that. And yeah, videos every day, my man.
That's so nice.
Just come here anytime. Anytime. So, I was telling you, this is Player 2, Jada Toys, Guile for Street Fighter. I already have, wait a second, Player 1, which is Green Guile. And I'm not going to unbox this one because I only have one. But I have two of these, so we're unboxing it.
Do you
Because
want
it's
to
blue.
unbox the blue or the green one?
And I can't unbox the green one, I only have one.
Oh, just kidding.
But this one I have two.
Silly me.
No, don't worry about it. There we go.
Tennessee, there makes good whiskey. Yeah, I mean, I don't really drink whiskey that
Yeah.
often, but we do have Jack Daniels.
Yeah, and Daniele is from Friuli, like my dad.
Hi, Daniele.
See.
Piacere.
See. I'm trying to. Maybe. Is it connected to something? Let me see. I'm trying, guys. Not a great.
Maybe just like one. It's gonna be very loud. Maybe you can mute really quick.
Oh no. Because I think I need to open down here. Maybe it's easier. Oh, look. I did it like that.
Yes, and Tennessee does have the Smoky Mountains for sure.
Yeah.
When did you come to the States? He has been like coming back and forth for a while, but like officially he moved in like 2021 or something.
Something like that, yeah. Man, crazy. It's been that I did it, guys. Woohoo. I did it. So, what have we got? We got the
Hello.
hi.
Someone said they want to see my face.
Yeah,
Here I
of
am.
course. Of course, yeah. So I need to
Oh, Jordan, he's got two. He's got two of the same one.
I got two. So one is gonna stay in box and the other one is getting unboxed. Gonna be a little loud. Sorry for that. Okay, we're getting there, guys. Guile.
I love Elrond's sword. I just love Elrond in general.
Yeah, Elrond is cool, and we looked at it and reviewed it a little bit earlier on the stream. The sword, well, I don't need that.
Oh,
I just need
Elrond's
this
sword?
guy. Yeah, it was
You
kind of
should
fun.
review Legolas's like daggers. Actually,
True.
believe it or not, I used to have a.
While you talk to them, I need to cut this with the.
It's my stream now. Go
It's
away.
your stream. Yeah, it's your stream. Have fun. Imagine someone joins now. I will see.
Bye bye.
Be right back.
Hello, everyone.
Oh, that's fun.
All right, man. I feel so like gamer. How is everybody? How are we doing today? Oh, should I be over here? It is pretty cool, Guile. It is nice. Yes, the Wifatron stream. I don't know what to do. But no, I actually used to have a replica of Legolas's like daggers, like the long Elven daggers, and it got lost in a move, but I really liked them. Oh, guys, thank you for liking it. I really appreciate it. I can see like all the hearts being like do 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 do. Talk about elves. Well, I prefer. So there's Tenwar. Tenwar is like one of the languages. There's Sindarin. I actually have a tattoo. A Lord of the Rings tattoo. It's like one of the lonely mountains, and it says, "And he lives happily ever after till the end of his days." It's from Bilbo Baggins, and then this one is from Harry Potter. Impromptu tattoo tour. No one asked for this, but here we are. This one says Lumos, and then Nox, and then I have a D20 over here. If anybody has seen Critical Role, like the D&D Critical Role, season 2, I love Jester, like the character, and I got it in her colors, in like Jester colors. It's very cute. Yeah, Tenoir is the written. I always forget about the one that starts with Q. I don't want to say it wrong. Quenya. I always forget about that one, but Sindarin is the one that I know about the most, and Tenoir. I mean, I don't speak it. I know you can actually like learn these languages, like Klingon, Sindarin. You can even learn High Valyrian from Game of Thrones, and I'm just like, if I could speak like Daenerys Targaryen, please. Is it okay if I read the super chat?
Yeah, totally.
Thank you so much, Josh Gardner. I really appreciate it. You guys need to check out Lake Michigan. Oh, I would love to go to Michigan.
Josh.
Absolutely. Michigan sounds so fun.
Thank you, Josh. Oh, we even got a sonic boom.
Oh, is that like his thing?
Yeah, when he does this with the arms and throws the sonic boom. Yeah.
Let me go over here. Oh, thank you, Dream Heart Cat. Such a nerd. Heck yeah, absolutely, 100%. Yeah. Sonic Boom says Legetu.
See.
And then I'm just hello Metatron, hello Wifatron. Yes, I need to give Twitch some love over here. Is it okay if I move this over?
A little bit, yeah, but not too much because I like keeping them like that.
Okay.
Yeah.
It's just my stream now.
Oh, it's just, yeah.
Let's see. I have not seen the new D&D movie, but I've heard it's actually not bad. Like, it's like for the vibes, you know, it's like funny, kind of giving like the same breaking the fourth wall energy as Deadpool did. I haven't seen it though. I've heard it's really good. Or like, you know, as good as it, you know, can be. Rings of Power. Listen, I did watch the first few episodes. It is called Rings of Power, right? The one that Amazon did. Let me tell you, I absolutely adored like the cinematography, like the special effects and the cinematic stuff. The visual was incredible, so beautiful. I liked it fine. I did. I didn't watch very much of it. I just feel like everyone is like saying that it's really bad, and I'm just like, oh, I don't know. I mean, it has to be different. But then again, I don't know. I just stopped watching it. I get really bored of like shows very quickly.
I think there was a super chat about you.
Oh, here, let me give you back the Sonic Boom.
I'd love to see how you connect the Sonic Boom.
Oh, who can I click it and see his full name?
It's Greg.
Oh, hi, Greg. Thank you. Oh, what do I do? Okay.
Yeah, there you go.
Thank you so much, Greg. Kinsey is a nerd with a wonderful smile. She's a keeper. You are a lucky man. Thank you so much. I am also very lucky because he is beautiful in every way.
I appreciate it.
So, but thank you so much. We're both lucky. Trent, thank you so much for the donation. Really appreciate it. Tolkien versus Martin. Whose works? Oh, Tolkien. Tolkien. There is no world that. I mean, I love. What is it, George R.R. Martin? I think his work is phenomenal, and I love Game of Thrones. I never read the book. I never read Throne of Glass. I have read Throne of Glass. I have not read Game of Thrones. But Tolkien, maybe it's just like a nostalgic thing, because I literally grew up with Lord of the Rings. Funny thing, my parents would not let me watch Powerpuff Girls. Would not let me watch like Beetlejuice. That one I kind of understand, but they would not let me watch Harry Potter growing up. You know, I came from that kind of family, and but let me tell you, they let me watch Lord of the Rings, no problem. No, it's fine.
Well, that's good.
And they also let me watch Chicago when I was like 10.
Here we go.
Like the musical, if you've ever seen Chicago, I have no idea. Anyways, Trent, thank you again for the donation. But yes, I love both, but Tolkien all the way.
Thank you, Trent.
Yeah. Okay.
Look what we've got here.
Oh my God! Look.
I got Guile and Cammy.
I love him.
So
I love them. Oh, he's heavy.
Yeah,
I thought he was gonna be like super light plastic.
He's packing muscle. That's all the muscle.
Oh, he's even got an American flag tattoo.
Well, of course, that's Guile. Yeah, look at that. And the cool thing about Guile is that you can also make him stand on his hair.
Oh my God! Does he do that in the game?
No, but
Oh
you
man,
can do it. He's the only one.
Missed opportunity.
He's the only one that can do that because of it. Yeah, I love it.
Let me go back over to Twitch. Do you play Warhammer? Says Saint Sir Nicholas. No, I haven't played, but I would like to. Like I was never into it growing up. I didn't have anyone. I didn't know anyone that played it growing up, so I never played. But I do know of it because Raph plays.
Yeah.
I'm like stuttering. Because Raph plays, and I would like to. I think it'd be really fun.
Totally.
Let's see.
Totally.
Oh, I love C.S. Lewis as well. Chronicles of Narnia and like Prince Caspian. Oh my God, Prince Caspian, especially the movies. Like the actor, I don't know his name, but the actor that played Prince Caspian, he was very nice. Anyways,
Yeah. What?
just an observation.
Yeah.
Do you want your seat back? Do you want your
no,
stream
whatever.
back?
No, it's fine. You can talk as much as you want. Warhammer lore is cool. It is.
Oh, random question. Thank you so much, Reaver Vandal.
Yeah, we do like them.
Thank you.
We do like them. You don't have to read it if you don't want to, but we do like them. Yeah.
Oh.
I
I'll let you answer that one because
Yeah,
it's your stream.
That's fine, but I understand its European perspective, but I'm with the Americans on that one.
Let's see. Oh yeah, long black train, also known as chopped liver from now on.
Why?
You, because you're just like off to the.
Oh, I see.
You're back here.
Yeah, exactly.
Oh yes, Baron, I hearted it. I will message you back. I got distracted, but that armor was beautiful. It was so pretty. I'm gonna show you.
Oh, he sent you an armor
Yeah,
set. Cool.
like a picture,
Yeah.
and it's so pretty.
Oh yeah,
Is it
yeah.
Chinese?
It's Chinese. Yeah. Is it Ming? Maybe it's Ming Dynasty.
Can I show chat?
Chinese. Yeah, sure. Yeah, you can make
Baron,
sure it's because it's Facebook.
Baron, is it okay if I show chat?
Well, yeah, you're just showing the armor.
Why no? I didn't know if.
Yeah, as long as you don't show.
Yeah, no, it's just a picture. Look at that.
Yeah.
That's so pretty.
There are some Ming Dynasty 15th century brigandines from China that look really good.
Gringus?
Yeah.
Yes, I do.
Yeah, she does have a channel. Yeah. We can. I'll add a link afterwards.
I'll let you do it.
Yeah.
I'm sure you want your. Oh, Metatron, you've changed. I know.
Yeah.
What do
look
you
at my
mean?
hair.
It's the same. It's the same person. I am Metatron. Yes.
That's what happens when I shave.
Hello, noble ones.
Hello, number ones.
Yeah, the Ming Dynasty
Brigandines,
look
yeah.
really good. Looks solid. Yeah, it does look really good. Warhammer has like 40 years of books. Oh my goodness, that's a
40
lot.
years, yeah. Well,
That's
I
like
guess.
it's like D&D. Like,
Pretty
do you mean
much.
like rule books, like handbooks? Is that what you mean?
I think they also mean like books, like with
Like novels?
yeah.
Like Drizzt?
Yeah, maybe not that popular. But
Man, I love Drizzt.
Me
It's
too.
just so good.
yes. Yeah.
Drizzt Do'Urden.
Yeah.
I
love
need
it.
to listen to those audiobooks again. I listened to the audiobooks when I was like years ago.
Didn't I buy the physical one?
Yeah.
Yeah, I need to read
You
it.
bought all three.
I bought all three?
Yep.
Where did I put them?
No, I don't know. Boop.
Well, maybe they're in the background here. Are they in the background?
If you're really Metatron, speak Sicilian. Camorrea.
Sì, ma parlare siciliano, parliamo siciliano, amoni.
Amuni.
Amoni. No, they're not here, the books, so they must
Ah.
have put them.
Rammi Piccioli.
That's good Sicilian.
Rammi Piccioli. Who is it? Roberto. Rammi piccioli.
If he's not Sicilian, though, he won't understand.
No, it's give me money.
Yeah,
I'm joking.
that's,
Actually, that was probably not a good thing to say. I was
No,
joking.
it's fine.
I
It's a
was so
joke.
joking.
It's a joke. Plus, you usually say it for a mugging. So, no, it's fine.
Through the internet.
No,
It's
fine.
confirmed.
Yeah. But you did pronounce it really well.
Thank you.
Yeah.
Sono italiana.
Italiana.
I said
Oh,
italiana.
sorry, I didn't hear it.
Sono italiana.
Yeah, that's correct then.
Yeah. What is it? Uni? Uni?
To say what?
Siciliano.
Yeah, like, what do you want to say?
I'm Sicilian.
Oh, Sugno.
Sugno.
Siciliano.
Sugno Siciliano.
Or Siciliana, of course, in your case. Yeah.
Baron, I hope you're not being serious.
No, he's joking.
Oh, okay.
It's Baron. Of course he's joking.
Meta wife mugging. Yeah, right.
Yeah. Totally.
I see. Oh my gosh, that's funny. I see the Metatron's transition went well.
Yeah.
Oh my god.
Yeah, I already had the hair, so.
Yeah, all he did was he just dyed it, and bella ciao, bella ciao.
See.
Bella ciao.
You know what's
ciao,
funny?
ciao.
Actually, on my other channel, my second channel, one person did ask me.
Those hormones are working great. Sorry.
Yeah. There was a person on the other channel that actually did ask me, I love the long hair. Are you transitioning? They did ask that.
No.
And it's funny because actually, if this was the 90s, they would have asked me, are you a metalhead? But like things change, I suppose. So that's the first thing they went to, I suppose. What's up with the beard? Usually when people transition, they shave the beard anyways. Why would I be... Whatever, he's not a great detective, I suppose.
Oh yeah, literally. I be Rebecca, Kinsey mugging someone. Give me all your books. Yeah. All of your like special edition.
Yeah.
Books. And then do you prefer 40K or fantasy for Warhammer?
Fantasy.
I have no idea.
Fantasy.
Probably.
Fantasy. And I think she would be more into fantasy then, because you're not really into sci-fi as much as fantasy.
I like sci-fi a bit.
Yeah.
I'm actually getting a little more into it because I recently read the Red Rising trilogy by Pierce Brown. And I read the first trilogy.
Yeah.
There's 2 trilogies, so there's 6 books in total. But I read the main 3, and it's like the best thing that I've ever read.
Oh, no, yeah, good.
And then also the Wayward Pines trilogy by Blake Crouch is really good. Mm-hmm. We're currently watching the TV show.
Oh, yeah, that one. Yeah, I love it.
I don't like it.
It's good. I like it. I can't wait to watch it.
No, I don't like it.
I can't wait to watch it.
I have not read the Wheel of Time series. It's a classic. It's like up there with like Lord of the Rings, with it being so classic, and with it being like, I have not read it. I don't know how I haven't read it, but I haven't.
Well, you know.
I want to get into the Cosmere from Brandon Sanderson.
Reading other things.
Yeah.
Thank
Oh my
you
God. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Reva Vandal. I appreciate that.
Thank you.
Yeah, of course. Thank you for the support.
Thank you so much. All right. Guys, I think my time is up. I need to go wash my face.
Okay.
What?
Okay. No, you can say if you want, but if you want to wash your face, you can.
Not that I want to. I'm afraid I'm taking away from your time.
No, not at all.
You can just go play F-Zero now.
Yeah, I go play F-Zero, guys. Here, I'm joking. I mean, I would just be around the corner anyways.
Whoa, it's Miss Metatron. Yeah, it is. Hello.
Yeah, hello.
When you clicked on the stream and you saw his picture doing
yeah
like that, and then you pop up and you're just like, ah.
Yeah. No, it's me. I can shape shift. I'm a reptilian after all. That's
there's a question for you right there.
I love Tennessee. Tennessee is nice. Yeah.
I mean, to be fair, he hasn't been to that many like states. So like I think that like Tennessee is good.
Yeah.
But like we want to go other places too. Not like move, but like visit. I love New York. Just in general, I love New York. We want to go to Vermont.
Vermont, yeah.
In Colorado. I want to go to Vermont in the fall.
Florida. Want to visit Florida?
I
want to see every state.
I love Miami.
Yeah. And then we can spend a weekend in North Dakota.
Why?
I don't know, just to be so we can visit every state.
Cool.
Yeah. Then we're gonna go to Maine. Then,
why?
I don't know.
What's in Maine?
What's in Maine? I know there is
but
a guy
lobster,
who does
you won't eat it.
No, but I know a guy who plays Warhammer who's from Maine. So, Hawaii, there you go. Yeah,
I would love
visit
to go to Hawaii so much. It would be so nice. Why not South Dakota? I don't know. We could go to both.
I think I said North Dakota
You did.
because isn't there like an armorer? I think there is a very good armorer who does plate armor. I think that's where he's from. If I'm not
Oh,
wrong.
maybe.
And,
Love from Mobile Al. AI. Mobile AI. Thank you, JD.
Thank you, JD. Appreciate
that.
Appreciate that.
From Howdy from Poutine Land. Nice. Howdy. That's Canada.
Oh, I did not
I
understand
think.
that.
Unless I'm just got that totally wrong.
I thought he meant Russia, but we'll see.
Oh,
Maybe
because
not.
Canadians have poutine.
I don't know.
That's like the French fries
Oh, I don't
with
know
the
if that's
cheese
what-
on it.
Oh, that's
like
what
the
it
cheese
meant.
curds.
All right, then it's me misunderstanding. Yeah, that's fine.
Unless I'm just wrong, which is also indeed from Canada. I see.
Okay, you were right. You were right. I was wrong. There you go. I didn't see how it was spelled, so that's probably why. Thank you, Greg.
Thank you. Oh my
Appreciate-
God, Greg, thank you so much. Going to the beach with my wife to surf and have fun, as I promise my son. You
Nice.
guys are a lovely couple made for each other. Oh my
Appreciate that.
God.
Thank you,
I do
man.
not want to cry on stream. Love to the noble ones. Thank you so much, Greg.
Appreciate
You're so
that, Greg.
kind.
You're good. Good man.
So generous. And then Abdullah, what do you think about the Hobbit story?
I think The Hobbit,
I think you mean the Hobbit
The
story.
Hobbit.
I love the Hobbit. I think it's amazing. I know a lot. I think the Hobbit movies get a lot of flack. I quite like them. I thought they were great. They're very, they're different than Lord of the Rings. Lord of the Rings was made in like 2001.
Oh, yeah, of course.
In like 2001.
Yeah.
And honestly, I really, really do think that the movies in like the early 2000s were just made different. Like, I don't know, they just hit so different. You can really tell, like, Peter Jackson was so in love with the Lord of the Rings story. Now, I know the movies and the books are quite different. I know they took a lot of like creative liberties, but I think they did such a good job. But then like the Hobbit was made still when I think movies were done really well. Not early 2000s, but like when the Hobbit come out, like 2012
Oh, I
or
don't
something.
remember.
Maybe even a little bit later than
Maybe.
that. But I thought they were really good. I love the dwarves. I think they're all amazing.
And the elves. Elf supremacist. That's me.
I just wish The Hobbit had been 2 movies. Yeah, I think it was during the time when Hollywood loved to like do parts. So like they had like Harry Potter and the what's the last book?
I don't know.
Harry Potter and not the Half-Blood Prince. It's another one. Anyways, there was 2 parts for that book. There was 2 parts for the last Twilight movie. There was 2 parts for the Hunger Games. There was 2 parts for like, I think it was Deathly Hallows. That's right. I don't know how I forgot that.
That's fine.
So it's like during that time in Hollywood and movies, everyone loved making 2 parts. So like The Hobbit had like, I think 3 movies. Is Metatron a leftover? Yeah. Or
Oh, no. What, a leftover
oh, I
pizza?
don't know what that means.
I don't know. You might want to scroll up because there was a super chat.
Well, how about you? You want to
Listen.
come back?
Oh,
have
whatever.
you
Yeah, sure. I'll take that.
have you read the
Balian?
Kybalion or her? No, I have
Me
not.
neither.
Feel free to explain what that is because that sounds cool. Is it a book or like a series? But thank you for the
Genre.
donation. Really appreciate it.
Genre?
Crisp 3D.
Crisp 3D?
Yeah, and then critical lizard. That's a cool name.
Yeah.
Thank you so much. Are you a cuirass or brigandine type of girl? I do love a good brigandine.
Yeah.
Yeah, I think they're really nice. Thank you again so much, Reaver Randall 22. Maine is home of the Maine Coon. I do love a good Maine Coon. They're massive. They're
Oh, the
like
cat.
they're
Yeah.
like they're like this freaking big.
Nice.
They're so big.
I love cats.
But they really look like, if you look at like a genuine Maine
Yeah.
Coon, like a purebred Maine Coon, they have like a lion face.
Oh, a bit like the Norwegian.
They look like their cheeks like indent
Yeah.
the same way like a lion's does. It's wild.
Wow. A lion is a big cat.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
Nice.
Actually, I saw The Hobbit in IMAX when 3D was still a thing. So I don't know how long ago that was. Maybe like it came out maybe 2015. I don't know. I do love the Harry Potter books and the films. I have not read all the Harry Potter books. I know. I haven't read. I've read up to book 3.
Which for me would be book 3.
Yeah.
There you go.
Wait.
Like this.
Yeah. Wait,
Back
do you
home,
start like this?
It's 1, 2, 3. Yeah. That's how we
1,
do.
2, 3,
Yeah.
4,
I mean, we
5.
can start from the first.
Oh, look
one
at my
plus.
nails. I got my nails done today.
Yeah, the camera doesn't really help
Oh.
with that.
Oh, there we go.
Oh, there you go.
No, can you see?
Nail stream on the Metatron channel.
I'm sure this is the quality content you guys clicked for.
Absolutely.
I think they're really pretty.
Hmm.
Anyways, I'm gonna go.
Thank you.
Thanks for letting me take over your stream
Yeah,
for
totally.
half an hour.
Our stream. No problem.
Bye everybody. Have a great night. Thank you so much for being so kind and welcoming, and I really appreciate it. Bye.
So I'm gonna switch into the 30 minutes
Okay,
with members,
very
and
good.
then I would be done.
Okay. Whatever you think. Yeah.
Okay.
Good.
Okay, cool. Hey, welcome. It's been a long time no
You
see.
detransitioned.
I did, yeah. So I
Okay, bye.
bye. So yeah, sorry, I'm not as charming, I suppose, but here I am. Here I am. So yeah, we got Guile. Second player. Blue. Jada Toys. I think he looks great. Ready for a sonic boom. Who are you? We got him next to Cammy. There we go. Just do this. And there we go. Oh, that's cool to know. Dirk Tugs. This dude is back, I know, sorry. Yeah, you can go watch her channel. Talking about that, let me share. So, there she is. So this is her channel. If you're into books, there you go. And there she is. It's a lot of shorts, but yeah, that's what she does. And it's a lot of books, I suppose. She does a lot of books. Yeah, it's adorable with the headphones and whatnot. But yeah, this one. But thank you everyone for being nice. And yeah, wow, your beard grows fast. Yes, it does, doesn't it? How would Rome deal with Afghanistan? Well, I'm not sure in what context, Alexander, but we would have to see what they were doing in Afghanistan back in the day. And then, which I don't know because I'm not really, it's kind of outside my area of expertise, we could say. So I can't really do, I can't even speculate if I don't know what they were doing back in the day. It's always nice though to think, try to imagine like what would happen if these two civilizations, so these two cultures clashed. Of course, when we talk about Rome, it's always military, isn't it? That's what the Romans did. So yeah. Thank you for that, Ato Halan. Appreciate that. All right, guys. So what I'm going to do is, since we are reaching the last 30 minutes of the stream, I'm going to switch now to subscribe-only mode for chat. So everyone can still watch the stream, but the idea is that I want to give some time to subscribers to the channel, to channel members, really, not subscribe-only, channel member mode. And so that you guys get a chance, those who are members of the channel, you get a chance to speak to me, ask me questions, and not because I'm like the big guy, but simply because I know a lot of you do love the idea of speaking, and oftentimes you're like, oh, I wish you read my comment. Well, here you go. This is your chance. So if you're not a member of the channel, this could be a good timing to do it. And then of course on Friday we will have a fully dedicated stream to channel members. This is just my way to say thank you to people doing that. So for everyone else, thank you so much for all your cool chats. I do appreciate that. How can I have a membership? You can become a channel member by clicking join. So basically every channel, I'll show you that very quickly for those who are interested. And then, yeah, there is this, and then there is also the occasional extra content that I post. So I don't know if it shows it to myself. Thank you. Best late night talk show in the US. Thank you so much, Riva. Thoughts on Gears of War on PS5? Italia spacca. And, there we go. Mud, thank you for becoming a member. I appreciate that. That's let me see if I can see it on my own channel. Yes, I can. So I can show you. So it's basically this little button here called join, and you can become a channel member. And then you get these special sessions. And also, do keep in mind that as a YouTuber, I always see your comments in green so that it's easier. If there is a higher likelihood of me in general reading your comments, both while we're live on or offline. But then I also do specially dedicated stream chats where we can interact more. So yeah, that's how you do it. This is a channel join. And of course, I appreciate that because it helps me keep the channel independent from the views. Sometimes the views are really annoying. So that's my way to say thank you. Membership has been growing a lot lately, and I really appreciate that. So I'm going to switch to members. If you don't have that button, there must be a reason, but you might want to check on a regular video of mine. Maybe rather than the stream now, maybe if you open on a different tab a regular video of mine, the button should be there. Should be there on a regular. Maybe the phone. Let me check on the phone actually before I do that. Let me see if it shows on the phone because I do want to help people who are interested in. Maybe it's because on the phone, but I don't know if you can join through a phone. Do you guys know? Do you guys know if you can actually join a channel with your phone? Because on the phone, I don't see it either. I think it has to be on desktop. Yeah, that's probably what it is, because on the phone, I don't see it either. So yeah, it's only into desktop mode. So in desktop, you'll see it. For some reasons, I wonder why, since, I mean, a lot of people use, that's something a YouTube should, you should do something about it, YouTube. But yeah. So if you are on desktop, then yeah, I would just try opening a random video on the channel, and join should be there. If it's not there, maybe you have to set up, I guess, some reason. I don't know what that would be. I hope you can figure it out. If not, I'm sure there are video tutorials. Thank you, Mad. I just joined on my phone. Oh, you did? Well, thank you so much for the support. So maybe it's just that they need to do some kind of setting. I don't know if it could also be that depending on which country you are, so there are some countries that unfortunately don't have access to it. I think most people do. Yeah. Anyways, in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, and the 30 minutes, ladies and gentlemen, begins now. Members only chat. I do read this one though because it did slip in. The only reason I haven't so far is actually due not to wanting Google charging me monthly. But you can always, you know, imagine that you want to do it this month, but then maybe next month you're like, well, I don't know. You can always cancel it. So that's always an option. I think it's something to do with Apple or maybe Rebecca. But as I always say at the beginning of the member section, welcome to the inner circle. Welcome to the inner circle, Noble One. So good to have you here. So nice slide in, based. Yeah, it was pretty good actually. It was pretty good. So Raf, do you think on the third channel or the main, would you ever do a critical analysis of the infamous woke games Google Doc? Would I do an analysis? I guess I could do an analysis that would try to be unbiased. So what that would mean is that, because I know what you're talking about, is like, I think there is a creator who made this document where they say every single instance in which they believe that the game is woke, right? Am I correct? And so probably what I would do if I ever tackle it, probably not on the third, but if it's a topic I would tackle on the main rather than the third, because I like keeping the third completely controversy free in any case. But yeah, what I would do is that I would probably go through the list and tell you, yeah, I think this game is all about activism, or maybe this other game, no, I think they're exaggerating, it's not, I wouldn't even call it that. So that's how I would do it, I think. Yeah. And you say, because they label games that because they have a single strong female character as woke. Yeah, I would disagree with that. Yeah, Dragon Age 1 is not woke. And again, as you know, I don't even use the word anymore, but if you use it, I'll read it. It's not like it's the N word, so I can use it. If people write it, I don't have anything. You won't see it on a title of mine, unless, I guess, for this one, perhaps. But as I say, yeah, no, because that way then Super Metroid will be woke, and Super Metroid is not woke. So I think some people are too sensitive these days when it comes to that. But I'm sure there are, like, if Dragon Age Veilguard is on that list, then I would agree. So I guess it depends on the situation, yeah. Could be an interesting video, because again, I would do it not for a grift, but I would do it because I could share my own opinion, and then I would be, I guess, more, you know, sometimes I would think so, because I think what happens is then there are people that will agree 100% and say, yeah, every single game is woke regardless of what, and then there will be people on the other side that try to gaslight you and tell you nothing is happening in the gaming industry, which is also wrong, because things are happening. So maybe I would be in a position, I could be perhaps uniquely positioned in the sense that I would be fair about my judgment on the games, I imagine. Thank you, channel, for commenting stuff, for becoming a member. Welcome to the inner circle, my friend. One thing I'm noticing is that I do tend to remember your names more easily now that you're members, because the pool is smaller. So it kind of creates a situation. There are some people that have been in every stream regardless, and I remember them. But with members, it's a little easier. That's another thing. Raphael says, are there any newer Street Fighter characters you like, or just the oldies? I'm more for the oldies. New Street Fighter characters? Can I even remember one? I know the guy they put on the freaking cover art. The new guy they put on the cover art of Street Fighter 6, that annoyed me, to be honest. Because I'm like, come on, you have to put Ryu and Ken. Then add all the characters you want. But it's got to be Ryu and Ken on the... Unless you want to go girl. Then you can do like Cammy, Chun-Li, and put all the girls on the cover art. I don't have a problem with that, as long as you put the old school characters. Then yeah. Pay for memory. I mean, it's a way to look at it, but I try not to look at things that way. I'm a half full glass person. Yeah. Thank you, channel, for commenting stuff. Can I call you CFCS? CFCS. Thank you, CFCS. Hey, vote Shal. Thank you for the comments. Appreciate. Nishant Duhan, thank you for becoming a channel member. I appreciate the support. Man, we had a growth of 192% on my channel membership in the last 2 weeks alone. I do believe there is a lot of potential there, and that would be great, because it also means that I can start producing content that is funded through you guys, apart from the live streams, that it's fun to have this interaction with you as something that I can offer back to thank you. But I also think that we can start making videos that are funded by you. I do a poll, you guys choose, we fund the video, so that we post a video that we like the core audience will love the video. And then if it gets 15,000 views and the YouTube algorithm makes it flop, at that point, I'll say, who cares? At that point, I would still prefer for the video to, you know, reach as far away as possible. But at least I don't have to strategize every single upload, thinking like, how am I going to title it? What am I going to say? How long should it be? You know, it's kind of nice that way to be able to do that. Yeah, it is funny, Nicholas, totally. I understand that, Dreamheart. I think it's important for books and works to be explicit, in the sense that they tell you what, not explicit, but like, you know what you're buying, so then what you read is something that you like. And I think at that point, that's one of the reasons why I contrasted Dragon Age Veilguard so much, because they were like drawing in people that love Dragon Age series, but then you don't give me what I expect. So I think it's better when it's more like that. Thank you, Cross Bible, for the donation. If you are researching Amon Hillman, yes we are, for your response video, you should consider watching the Myth Vision podcast video about him. I'm gonna write it down. I'm gonna let you know on that. I don't know how long it's gonna take me to make my response video to Amon Hillman's arguments, but one thing I do want to say, it's 4 people at the moment. We are working on it, 3 of which are content creators, so it's teamwork. We are working on it, so it's happening. Sorry, I'm opening a document so I can copy paste, because any indication, I'll absolutely use it. I'll absolutely use it. And again, I won't attack him personally, directly, like the Exorcist did, making fun of his appearance, making fun of his tattoos, making fun of his whatever, his shirt. Like, of course we're not going to do that. We are going to act like professionals. And that's what we're going to do. That's just not right. Absolutely. Absolutely. Hey, Metatron, how much more successful do you think Justinianus would have been? Oh, Justinianus. Is it Justinian? You maybe? Yeah. Would have been in the Renovatio Imperii if the Gothic Wars was ended much quicker and the plague didn't happen when it did. Thoughts? The plague, I think, would have been the main contributor to that situation, because of course people, when they think of the plague, they think of the Yersinia pestis bacterium, so the Black Death, but there were plagues before, including the Antoninian one. So there were plagues. They were not like as bad as that one, as the Black Death, but were still terrible, that happened during the Roman Empire, particularly in the late, like in the Dominate. And I think that even trying to imagine the medieval period without the Black Death would have been a very different scenario. So definitely, yeah, 100%. I think that would have been the major impact. It would have been a completely different story, man. Completely different. The Gothic Wars too, but I think that would have been the main component to creating a completely different scenario. The sorcerer was rude. Which sorcerer was rude? Oh, you call him a so I see. Oh, I get it. Yeah, the exorcist was really was very rude. Yeah, I thought so. Plus, he was very manipulative, and that's and so is Ammon, by the way. But the priest was not the priest. I keep calling him a priest. He's not a priest. The exorcist guy. He was even more so. Even more so. Thank you, Larry, for becoming a member of the channel. Very much appreciated. Thank you for the support. But yeah, that guy lost the debate completely. He lost it. Because he didn't even address a single question. He wouldn't even allow Ammon to present his points. Now, could you imagine the likes of Alex O'Connor doing that? Like an actual proper debater, someone like him? Could you imagine him doing that? No, I'm not going to let you go there. I'm going to pretend you didn't even say that. Yeah. One of those things. True, Nicholas, yeah. Yeah, that was the funniest part about the whole confrontation between Ammon Hillman and Bob Larson, is that Bob continuously said that Ammon is demon-possessed. He kept saying, this guy is demon-possessed. He has a demon inside. Demon. I'll give you an exorcism if you pay me. Demon this, demon that, the whole time. And then halfway through, he keeps threatening to leave because Ammon is being rude and impolite. I'm like, I'm sorry, but you can't do that. Like, either you say, no, man, I don't think you're demon-possessed. And so please, can you stop being rude to me? That's fair. Or you say, this guy is the devil. Then why do you expect the devil to be polite and kind? I mean, sorry. It's what? Could you imagine, like, the devil being like, oh, no, I wish to be respectful towards you because, it's nice. It's not nice to attack people. Let's be kind and gentle. What? In what version of Christianity are demons nice? I missed that one, I guess. Yeah. Romans versus Dacians. Yeah, I mean, Romans versus Dacians. Yeah, it's... I don't remember if I've ever made a video about it, if that's what you're asking. I was trying to think, because did I ever speak about it? Probably not. Hey Baron, if you want to, you could put the link to my Discord here. Sure, I don't go there very much. But occasionally I do though, so you feel free to put the link. And if you see a link, normally I would tell you guys never click links. Baron is an exception though because he's one of my moderators, so, and a good friend of mine. So if you see Baron von Boom Boom, then this guy's link is fine. When it's this good, no problem. If you want to check it out. Thank you, Mud, for the support. Imagine thinking that a demon would be reasonable. Yeah, exactly. And even more so, polite, of all things. Of all things. The demon is supposed to be polite. Yeah, that part was funny. Yeah. That was a very bad debate. Metatron just sharing how it looked like. Yeah, I agree. And it's good that you're putting debate into questions, because I think that debate never happened. Because in order to be a debate, you have to have arguments and counter arguments. But if you never go past the first argument because it's never even addressed, is it really a debate? Not really. It's a confrontation, maybe, but it's not really a debate. Because, I mean, debating is an art and a skill. There is a whole rule set to how a debate is supposed to happen. So, I mean, some demons could be polite as a ploy. I can see the logics behind that, but I think clearly that wasn't the case, because Ammon went like... But then again, he was responding because Bob is the one who started telling him off and making fun of the way he speaks, and saying that his PhD doesn't count and he's posturing. And I'm like... And then when... what's his name? Danny Jones said something about Greek. Bob said, well, you're not a Greek scholar, so I'm like, neither are you. But the guy is, if we really have to be honest about it. It's not like I hate what Amon Hillman proposes. But the guy is, I gotta give it to him. The guy is a scholar of ancient Greek. He spent 35 years learning ancient Greek. So I have to give him that one. So it's so funny that Bob said to Danny Jones, well, you're not a Greek scholar, so... And it's like, for the last hour, Ammon has been telling you, can you read this for a passage in Greek? And you didn't acknowledge it. Unbelievable. Unbelievable lack of self-awareness. It's not because I'm a Christian and the guy is a Christian too. I'm going to be like intellectually dishonest about it. Who is Ammon Hill? Ammon Hillman is a very controversial figure within the internet space lately, because he is a kind of a guy who is he's a classicist. He's a classicist who has a PhD in ancient Greek. He's really good at reading. I don't know if he's really good at translating ancient Greek though, so that's one of my attack lines, by the way. I just won't go into the details because I don't want to reveal the strategy. But regardless, he's very knowledgeable of ancient Greek, but he has been making some alternative translations of gospel passages, and these are blasphemous to say the least. Now that doesn't mean that I won't entertain it. I absolutely will. But he has been making some statements that are, yeah, they're what they are about Jesus specifically. And then he speaks in general about other things that have to do with classical antiquity, some of which, in the connection of medicine, some of which are actually interesting, believe it or not. Anyways, he did that, and then he created a map, because he was interviewed. He has his own channel, but I think it's called AD Babylon. But then because not only of his very controversial statements, but also he's very theatrical, because he kind of, I think he's trolling, because due to the fact that his statements are very controversial, people, particularly on the Christian side of on the internet, started saying that he's demon possessed. So he's riding that now, and I think he's trolling, because he will start his streams by hailing to the bad guy and all that kind of stuff, to the devil. But I think he's trolling, honestly. Regardless, so there is this whole thing, and he was invited into this very popular live stream run by Danny Jones. He often has all sorts of guests, and that gave them, I think, a few million views by now. So he's very infamous in the space, but he has got some following, and his followers love him to bits. So it's that kind of summarizes it. Thank you, Tom, for subscribing on Twitch for 3 months. Man, I love your dedication. Thank you so much. Yeah, doing very well, Tom. Thank you. You discovered the channel about a month ago. Thank you so much. Appreciate that. It's good to have you here. React to history civilis. I'll consider that. History civilis. Yeah, alternative is doing some heavy load. I agree. The host was so smart getting those two super angry guys for a video. I agree, but I actually expected him to get more views. Other videos of his actually had more views, but regardless, I think the majority of his income comes from Patreon, to be honest, because he has a lot of people following him on Patreon, Danny Jones. I don't know how he transitioned that so smoothly. Some people can. I mean, I can't complain. My Patreon is successful, but still not as is. His Patreon is exploded. So yeah. Be interesting to speak about the battles, Colin, Aubrey, between the Romans and the Dacians, the ones they lost, the ones they won. That could be a very interesting discussion for sure. Ooh, Tiberius, Colin. I have a lot of thoughts on Tiberius. Interesting his reorganization of the Praetorian Guard and how he got it closer. And then the idea of the barracks. That's interesting. But Tiberius was kind of weird. Yeah, crazy old PDF file. I know, in his later age, he has been accused of that. Of course, all accusations that are brought against emperors, we always have to consider the possibility that it's anti-imperial propaganda. But in his case, it is possible that he had some weird... paranoia, yeah, he actually had some mental problems, I think. Nishant, thank you for the support. I'm a history student currently studying the Roman Red Sea trade with ancient India. Wow. Focusing on the two main polities in India at the time, the Indo-Scythian kingdom and the Satavahana dynasty. I love the way. Is it Hindi? I think that's Hindi, right? Yeah, but fascinating stuff. Thank you for sharing it. Very cool. I agree, Leonidas Sparta. Good to have you here, my friend. What have you been working on? What's your latest video? Out of curiosity. Checking your channel right now because, I mean, I think most of my subscribers know who you are, but just in case, Leonidas Sparta is the guy. He has got a lot of good stuff on ancient Greece. What did you do, late? Hoplite shield tested. Man, that's nice. That's nice. I love your work. I think your work is criminally underrated and you should get more views. 100%. I did appreciate your response videos, you know, and always keeping it respectful, which is very rare these days. So yeah, we should give him 9 hours ago. We should give him more views, guys. Totally. Leonidas Sparta, #1. Love your work. And I know that you have invited me to do some collaborations together. Yeah, I'll work on it. I'm working on it. I'm just not great when it comes to... oh, yeah, totally. You're welcome. I'm not great when it comes to organizing collaborations. Well, it will happen, my friend. It will happen. So, yeah. Any interest in Dune Awakening? They have a open beta weekend coming up. Oh yeah, it's made by Funcom, right? The same as Conan Exile. It's an It's a survival, right? I am interested actually. We should test it. We should play it a little bit. A channel for commenting stuff asks, talking about podcasts, what was your take on participating in Nerdrotic? Well, the only one single time that I did participate when they invited me, they were all very polite with me, so I had a good time. It was about Gladiator 2, so that's all we really spoke about, and then I left because that's what the reason why I was invited was to speak about the history behind Gladiator. So I did that. There were two elements in the whole what do you call it, board. There were two elements in the board that had a little bit of a joking at their jokes were a bit much for me, but because, you know, I'm a freedom guy, I still think they should be able to joke however they want. But the rest of the panel was great. I actually enjoyed it very much. And specifically, what's his name? What's the name of the guy with the glasses? He was cool. He was cool with me. So yeah, I had a good time. I know there were some people that were like, no, Metatron, you should never go. And I'm like, why? I will go anywhere. Anyone on YouTube invites me for a podcast, I'm not going to be like, oh, I don't know, let me see their political affiliations. What are their thoughts? Do I agree with everything? No, I don't do that. You invite me, you tell me why you're inviting me. And if the reason is, we want to have your take on this specific matter, and I think it's a subject that I can offer something, then I absolutely will go. And in this specific case, it was nice. I had a good time. They were very respectful to me. Yeah. And then Dreamheart says, why don't people like Nerdrotic? I guess it's political. I think some people don't like some of their takes. I think they have a lot of anti-woke production, and so some people don't like that, which I understand. But at the end of the day, my answer to that is, so what? I would absolutely go to any podcast, regardless of whether they are anti-woke, pro-woke. I would still go. Because even if I disagree, and in that specific case, we didn't really disagree on anything. There was nothing. Only at one point someone said something about sharks in Rome, and I said, no, you're wrong, and that's how it is, and that was it. But apart from that, like if I go to a podcast, any podcast, and someone says something that I strongly disagree with, then you know me. I'm going to disagree with class, and I'm going to present receipts. So I think that's going to be good for the audience, because something that happens a lot in these days when it comes to politically motivated people, right? People that have a strong political idea, is that they stick to their, what do you call it? Gosh, I can't think of the word. Echo chamber, right? And a great way to break echo chambers from the position of any given chat is to have new people that go and are willing to have a discussion like human beings, rather than being like, you're a fascist, you're woke. How about we talk about the topics? Because then you can hear the position of someone who's maybe on some things will agree, on other things will disagree, and maybe that can help breaking some, because you do have echo chambers on both sides. And echo chambers are not great because they don't help with building up critical thinking. That's the thing. But yeah, they were good. They were good. I had a good time. So if they invite me again, I'll go. If I feel that I can offer some interesting talking points. Metatron podcast when? You know, we've been speaking about it with my wife, because we see the podcasts tend to have a very high chance of going well. Like podcasts, when they go well, they really go well. And so we've been thinking about it. It's just that, I don't know, it will be one more thing. Right now, I'm kind of more interested into the idea of going live more often. So I love doing the live streams, but maybe one day we might do a Metatron podcast. We won't call it Metatron though. We'll give it like a cool name, a cool title, and then I'll invite people. We'll see who comes. We could do a test and see what happens. You would love to see a podcast, Baron? Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Metatron and MetaWife podcast when, says Nicholas. As I say, we've been thinking about it. And then we could have some guests, recurring guests during the podcast. I would love to have Jason Kingsley into the podcast 100% when we are talking about medieval stuff, of course, because I know he's a busy man. But like if we are doing medieval something, it would be nice to have him. And yeah, be cool. Be nice even to have, like, if you're talking pop culture, I would invite Shad and then see which things we agree, which things we disagree. I think that could be interesting to see. And yeah, I mean, I would invite all sorts of people. I would invite Scalagrim as well. Could you imagine having Scalagrim and Shad on the same podcast night? I would do it. We'll see. We'll see what happens. Favorite metal bands, asks Colin. Probably Stratovarius and old school Metallica. Yeah. I appreciate that you respect my freedom, St. Nicholas. Thank you so much. And of course, I understand your position. It's just that with me, they were very nice, so I don't have a situation. Goatee asks, echo chamber. Yeah, echo chambers. This is what an echo chamber is, just to make it very simple. Imagine that you are X-wing. Doesn't really matter if it's left or right. You're X-wing, and you start watching creators that push your ideas, right? Then what YouTube does is that it will connect you because you liked that video, right? And then you start watching those videos, and then YouTube in your homepage start giving you videos from those same creators or people that are different creator, but same line of thinking. And then you end up watching over and over, and you get this confirmation bias, and then you only watch one side, never watch the other side. That creates an echo chamber. The reason why it's called echo chamber is because when you only listen to people with the same either political ideas, but this works also within the religious atheist discussion, when you consistently only listen to people who think like you, what that does is that you say something and it gets back to you like an echo. And that's all you do. And the problem with echo chambers is that sometimes they can create a position where you're then not willing to listen to other ideas. And that it's not great when it comes to your ability to then form your own opinions. So that's the problem with echo chambers. And as I say, echo chambers, that's why I spend time listening to atheist debaters. They don't shake my faith, but it's good for me to listen and try to understand their perspective and understand why do they think this way that is so different to mine. And then I listen to it. If I was inside an echo chamber, in this case a Christian echo chamber, it would mean that I only listen to Christian, which is, if what you want to do, you can do it. But as I say, in the political realm, this is even more dangerous because it can create really people that then like think they're always right, continuously right. Everything is correct from their point of view, and that can be dangerous. Not always dangerous, but it can be. Yeah. Podcast when, that's a good way to put it. I mean, I think she was great, Kenzie, today, and entertaining the chat, because she's a little anxious, so she's always afraid that she's going to say something and then it's live. But I told her, just be yourself, just speak whatever. You know me, I've said a lot of stuff over the years that people are like, oh, Metatron said this, and I double down. I double down. If that's how I think, that's what I say. Metatron, do a Roman Emperor tier list, says Black Knight. That would be a nice idea for a video. YouTube only wants clicks. I mean, yes, YouTube is very efficient when it comes to that. For sure. Oh, I'll tell her that, Nicholas. Thank you. Thank you, channel, for commenting stuff. I think you gave a much better definition than me, because yours was shorter, concise, to the point. Wonderful. I can learn from you, I guess. How about the Noble Ones podcast? Yeah, I mean, that's an idea. Or something with the truth, maybe. We'll see. Truth-centric podcast. We'll see. Have you thought about making a video about the history of papal conclaves? Or conclaves? I don't know how you read it. Yeah, I mean, I did think about, because of the fact that they are working on getting a new pope. We'll see when we get the white smoke, right? I was thinking about maybe producing a video about the history of papacy or something like that. I have been thinking about it. I don't know if I have enough time to do it, though, because, yeah. Ooh, something with pedantic on the name of the pedantic podcast. Ooh, that's going to be interesting. Overly pedantic podcast, maybe. We'll see. We'll see. I wouldn't really know, Colin, about that Valerian T word that I can say, otherwise they give me a yellow dollar sign. Sometimes I do get confused between sympathy and empathy myself in English, to be honest, because in Italian both words exist, but they're used differently than the way you do in English, I think. Another word that can be a little strange for me is the way you guys use the word jealous. Because in Italian, we have the word geloso or gelosa. So jealousy is gelosia. It's almost the same. Jealous is geloso. But the way you guys say it, like if I said, hey, tomorrow I'm going to Japan, and you tell me, I'm so jealous. Or if I tell you, look, I got a new guile, and you tell me, oh, I'm so jealous. It doesn't make sense to me. I mean, it does because I speak English. But in Italian, I couldn't say I'm jealous. I couldn't say, oh, sono geloso. Because you can only be jealous in Italian for something that is yours. So the fact that you are going, like if you're going to Greece, for instance, I can't be jealous about it because going to Greece, you didn't take my ticket. So like jealousy in the sense that I'm jealous of my wife, or I'm jealous of my girlfriend, jealous of your boyfriend, in Italian makes sense because it's your boyfriend, it's your wife, it's your husband. But I wouldn't be jealous of something that you have, that you bought, that it wasn't mine. For that, if you have something that I don't have, we say invidioso, which means envious. So you do have that word, but it's so strange that in English, jealousy overlaps with envy. But in Italian, they are separate. You can only be jealous of something that is yours. The same in Arabic. Okay, great. It's interesting to see that. So to me, that was always strange. It was always strange. And then another word that I find a little strange in English as opposed to Italian is the word proud. Because in English, if you're a proud person, it has a negative connotation oftentimes, your pride, right? But then you can also be, I'm so proud of you. And in that case, it's a positive sentiment. In fact, I remember a friend of mine when I was in England as a teenager saying, and someone can be righteously proud. And then he said, if such a thing exists. And I'm like, of course it exists. But in Italian, we divide them. So you have the word for being proud, you say orgoglioso, orgoglio, and that can have a negative connotation depending on how you use it. But if you really want to make sure that you're meaning I'm proud in a good way, so I'm happy for your achievements, then I say fiero. So we have a specifically dedicated word for that. And that one is completely unrelated to being pride before the fall that Nicholas is using. Exactly. So we do have a word dedicated to it. And I always thought it was interesting. That's how it is. Yeah. So would English use of jealous would be more accurately be envy. I agree. That's the way I feel that way. Yeah. Same rules in Portuguese? I thought so because I'm in Romance languages. I am surprised that it's the same in Arabic though. Parlez-vous français? Oui, je parle français aussi. Je ne parle pas bien, mais je parle français. Quand j'étais à l'école, quand j'étais plus jeune, j'ai étudié la langue française. Et donc, si tu veux, on peut parler un peu français. I'm not fluent though in French. I can speak l'envers-langue, à l'envers, comme le jeune à Paris. So I do that. Merci, si mère. That kind of stuff. It's not one of my strong languages though. You think it's a modern English thing? Oh, that could be a very good point, Jacob. That's a very good point. Maybe something that evolved differently and kind of went through a semantic shift, which I often use, but that's what that is. And so kind of changed the how broad it is. Is Metatron fluent in Italian? Yeah, my Italian is phenomenal. Channel says, I can understand everything is spoken in French, read with a bit of effort, but can't write or speak. Oh yeah, you asked me to write French. I'm going to have a lot of trouble doing that. Mais c'est drôle. Parler la langue française. Parler français. Yeah. I know, you remember the guy who said that was Metatron is an American of all things, an American. And I told you the reason why he said that is not because he's incapable of differentiating accents, because no one in his right mind would think I have an American accent, because I don't objectively. But regardless, the reason why he said American is because he saw that I live in the US. That's all. It's not as more complicated than that. But when he said, oh, he only speaks English, he's monolingual, everything else he pretends he has a screen, he has a script right there that he reads. It was, yeah, okay. Oh, that's cool, Goatee. You speak it first as a first language, French. Very cool. Even though my parents speak English mainly. So are you Canadian then? Because that usually happens. That can happen in Canada more easily, right? Depending on where you are. So yeah. I mean, to be fair, you do really speak good English. Thank you so much. You really speak good English. Or as it should be said, you really speak English well. I'm joking. I was being pedantic. So it takes a bit of listening to you to notice. Yeah, sometimes I'll F up and say things in a way that people don't say. You live in Quebec, that makes sense. To be fair, the US is the most diverse nation ever, so someone could have any accent, in my opinion. Yeah, but not my. If you're an American and you speak English as a first language, you will never sound like me. Like you will, yeah, you could have a Boston accent, you could have a New York, say, sausage and coffee. You could be from there, or you could be from California and have the kind of intonation that they have, or like someone from the South, French fries, and that kind of accent, but you're never gonna speak like me if you're from the US, to be fair. But yeah. Yeah, and when he said I'm a woman because I have long hair, thank you. Very very deep, very deep. I can see your ability, his ability, right? That guy to form a very coherent, deep rhetoric. Man, that rhetoric is sharp. I don't know what kind of comeback I can do against that, right? I'm gonna have to sit down and then think about the psychoanalytical analysis of his statements before I can actually hope to dismantle them. What's the topic? Not much of a topic right now. Fake putty. I don't know how to read it. But yeah, very funny. Very funny. Oh, chat is funny for sure. Yeah, number one in humor. We've got some proper humor in here. Proper humor. Conclave movie, says Raphael. I'll have to look into that. Oh, channel is from Brazil. Cool. Cool. Obrigado. I don't know any Portuguese, but it is one. It's gonna be the next Romance language I study 100%. I just need to get to fluency with Mandarin first. Once that's done, I might start looking into Portuguese because I really love the sound of it. Is it British or American humor though? It might be Britishian or Americish humor, to be honest. I only speak 2 forms of English, serious and sarcastic. Are you fluent in sarcastic? Try German. I like the sound of German, but I don't know if I want to commit that level of resources to it, to be honest. Wouldn't it be nice though? The only thing I know how to say in German, and if any of you is native, I'll probably butcher the pronunciation, but the only thing I know is, let me think. Ich bin kein Deutscher. Warum? Sehr gut. Dankeschön. Auf Wiedersehen. What else? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Boom. I know 1 to 10. That's it. That's my German right there. Das ist sehr gut und interessant. That's it. I don't know. I'm just making things up at this point. Be nice though. Which one? Portugal or Brazilian Portuguese? I'll be honest, I think I'm going to go for Brazilian Portuguese because I listen to both and believe it or not, I understand Brazilian Portuguese more easily. I like both. So if you're from Portugal, I'm not trying to offend you. I like both very much. But it's the way Portugal Portuguese, at least in the Lisbon accent, for what I could hear, they cut words, which doesn't seem to happen in the way like you simplify and shorten vowel clusters, makes it a lot harder for me to understand when spoken fluently. But when it comes to Brazilian Portuguese, I heard both Sao Paulo and Carioca accent, and both, it took me a minute to like, okay, so they pronounce the C like that, the T like that, but then it was easier to follow along. So I think I might try to do that one first. Yeah, to me it is easier. I've tried extensively to listen to both. I have a few videos on my second channel, Metatron's Academy, and it was easier for me to understand and follow along and even separate words in both Brazilian varieties. Yeah. American English and British English, yeah, sure. It's kind of like, sure. Totally. And it's so strange. It's kind of like the difference between American and English and the difference between, the 2 versions of Portuguese. I agree. And Sao Paulo has the largest migrant history of Southern Italians. That also makes sense. Mainly Neapolitans and Sicilians. Well, there you go. That could be one of the reasons. Your first mission is to learn how to pronounce. Yeah, I have no idea. So because you have the little thing on top, we call it a dieresi, I think. Because you have that, is it going to be nasalized? Is that what that is doing? That would be my guess coming from other languages. So how do you say aon, aon? I don't know. I would have to listen to it. I imagine it nasalizes it, unless it actually affects the open or closeness of the vowel. Who knows? Well, I'll have to listen and repeat, I suppose. That's what I would have to do. That sounds nice, Jack Shepherd. Yeah, sure. First, reach fluency in Italian. Then if you want to learn Sicilian, go for it. I would first reach fluency in Italian, though, so that you can communicate with everyone in Italy. And then if you happen to be in Sicily and want to start making some sentences in Sicilian, of course, Sicilians would love you for it. And that could be fun. But then you can always switch back to Italian also, because there isn't that many online sources for learning Sicilian. And by the way, that was, you meant again, the guy who said I don't speak Italian nor Sicilian. He said, oh, look, I debunked Metatron, because Metatron said on another video that there aren't that many online resources to learn Sicilian, so it's impossible that he actually learned Sicilian. I'm like, you idiot, I was brought up in Sicily. I don't need online resources to learn Sicilian. Maybe if I want to learn like some archaic thing, or if I want to study actual Sicilian poetry, then yeah, I'm gonna need to. But I don't need it. I went to school. That's what we spoke in school before the teacher came in. When the teacher, the professor, entered the classroom, we switched to Italian. Buongiorno, professoressa. Come sta? Tutto bene? Grazie. That's what we did with the professor. But when the professor left, when the teacher, I say professor because in middle school, we still call them professor. I know they're in America, professor is mostly university. Whatever, the teacher. When she left, we were back to Amone, come a fare tassettaise? So se te come ghiragghiocare, amone, pigliati sta cosa. That's how we spoke. Sicily. Okay? So that's how it is. That's how I learned the language, because I was brought up there, you muppet. But yeah, here we are. Anna, Kate, amone, pigliati sta cosa. So yeah. It is nasalized, so I was right. But then again, I still have to listen. I can't improvise it. I'll have to listen to a native say it, make the sound. And hey, how about we do this? How to pronounce Sao Paulo. And let's see if we can find a video tutorial and I can try. Yeah, they're very different, Sicilian and Italian, but it depends. Sometimes they are, sometimes they are not. All right, so how about this channel for commenting, since you're native? I'm going to click a video and you tell me if they're pronouncing it right. If we get your blessing, then I'll try and imitate it. How about we do that? That sounds fun. Let's do it. Let's see. All right, let's go. All right, so we skip this guy, Julian Mikel, because he's this guy doesn't know anything. And let's see this guy. How to pronounce this. All right, 1 second, please, because I need to...
Welcome to another...
All right, welcome to another video, he says.
Video to help you improve your pronunciation. Today, we're going to talk about how to pronounce the largest city in Brazil. Not the capital, but the largest city. São Paulo means St. Paul in Portuguese. Now you might be thinking, well, I speak English, so when I talk about a city in Brazil, I'm just going to say it however I say it in English. Yeah. Usually English speakers, or at least people from the US, will say Sao, like S-O-W, Sao Paulo. But if you happen to want to know why or how it's pronounced in Portuguese, in Brazilian Portuguese, or if maybe you're traveling there, maybe you live there, and you just still can't get the right pronunciation.
Okay, let's go.
Of your new hometown. Maybe you just want to know how it's pronounced in a native way. You don't even have to be learning Portuguese. The first thing that people notice is the weird squiggly line over the top of the A in São. This just makes it nasal.
Did he pronounce it right? I don't know if he's native, to be honest, but how was it? What do you guys think? Did he pronounce it right?
Right? Nasalized, everybody knows what that means. So instead of saying Sao, you have to say São. São. São.
Okay. São. Say it again.
Nasalized, everybody knows what that means. So instead of saying Sao,
okay, it's not Sao.
You have to say São.
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 São. He's native? Nice. São.
São. Like make him say It's a very flattering sound. But it's natural in these languages, so we just go with it. We do what we have to do.
Yeah, sure.
I used to think of the word Soundgarden, the band Soundgarden. Remember Soundgarden?
São. Pretend you have with a cold. Sounds good.
Sound. The first 6 letters, Soundgarden. To the G, you would pronounce that kind of naturally. Soundgarden, sound. Another technique is to think of the English word sung.
Man, I love it. I love the way it sounds.
S-U-N-G, sung. And then add an oo sound after it. Sung.
Good teacher, by the way.
Ooh, sung.
Sung.
The second word is a little bit easier because you only have one small change. The last letter O is going to change to an oo sound.
Yeah.
So Paulo instead of
Paulo.
Paulo.
Right. Paulo.
Instead of Paulo. This type of language focus.
São Paulo. Is that right? São Paulo.
On pronunciation is extremely useful for making the right first impression, right? If you say the city that
got it? Oh, good. Nice.
You're visiting properly, even if you offer 1 or 2 words, that pronunciation kind of goes a long way. People notice those things really early on. So I hope you enjoyed the video.
Absolutely, man. Let's give him a like. That was great. That was really cool, man. I love Portuguese. I freaking love Portuguese. Plus, this is the thing about the Brazilian variety. It's the musicality of it. And because Italian is a very musical language too, I think that's why I feel like, oh, I kind of feel like a home here. Because we also, quando parliamo in italiano, si va un po' in alto, poi si scende, e in questo modo intoniamo, insomma, la nostra conversazione. Italian is like this. It's very like ups and downs and this and that. That's how Italian is. So like and that's one thing that I kind of feel it's different. Like the notes are different, but the idea behind the musicality of the language, that you just go up and down with expression and passion, it kind of makes me feel like, yeah, you feel like you're a cousin. Like you may not be a brother, but you're a cousin. You know what I mean? Right? So that's it's very cool. Q Bandon, buonasera. Buonasera. Yeah, it makes sense, but that's cool. That's cool, not a problem. Oh no, I see, Raphael. That's kind of funny. Yeah. Oh, when you speak Italian, yeah, that's great. I mean, cool. It actually would. Did I ever hear a Brazilian accent on someone who speaks Italian while you speak Italian? Maybe not. That'd be cool to listen to. Maybe interesting. Be interesting. That's why, like, I actually get personally offended. It doesn't happen very often. I do get personally offended when in a movie you have this, like, an American character, for instance, and then they're like, stop speaking Spanish, and the guy's like, it's not Spanish, it's Portuguese, and they say, oh, so ugly Spanish. I would want to smack their face. I'm not even speaking Portuguese. I don't even know, but it pisses me off because you're gonna be insane. Like, I can understand that some people may like, no, I like Spanish more, fantastic. But to me, apart from the fact that they're so different, it's like literally apples and pears. But whatever. To me, they're both so beautiful in very different ways. And yeah, I do speak some Spanish. I studied Spanish at school because something we do back home. I mean, Italy's right around the corner from Spain, which is one of the reasons why when I speak Spanish, and I do enjoy speaking Spanish every time there is like Mexican, like we always speak Spanish. I love doing that. It's fun. And I promise I do slip in the occasional Italian word where I don't know how to say it in Spanish, but I enjoy doing that. But my Spanish, when I speak Spanish, I do pronounce that I do have the interdental sound, because once again, Italy and Spain are so close that's the variety of Spanish that I was taught in school. So I will say gracias, la conversación, podemos hablar un poquito en español. So that's how I speak it, because that's how it was taught to me, right? So I will tell you, los pimientos, I don't even know why I said that word right now, las ventanas, and sí, me gusta el idioma, hablar el idioma en español, whatever. But but yeah, so yeah, that's how I speak it. But regardless, to me, Portuguese is such a gorgeous language, and yeah, pisses me off when people say that. Me too, Jack. Me too. So, to me, I like Spain Spanish more than Mexican Spanish, but I like Mexican Spanish too. So, it's pretty cool. Do you think it'd be quicker to pick up Italian and Spanish after learning Latin? Sure, yeah, absolutely. If you already know Latin, I mean, I wouldn't study Latin to give you an advantage over languages that are objectively easier. I mean, that would be like insane. But if you already know Latin because you've studied it, it's something you have a passion for, then yeah, you'll recognize words, and it might, and then you will be happy that you don't have to worry about ablative case and vocative case. You don't have to worry about that. For instance, in Italian there is no neutral. You only have feminine and masculine in the gendered language, so that makes it easier as well. I understand that, Jack. Yeah, sure. I mean, Mexican food is, yeah, they win with that one. Yeah, the declensions melt my brain. I understand that dream for sure. But yeah, it's always fun. It's always fun, isn't it? Anyways, I think it has been 30 minutes. So thank you again to the members, of course. I'm going to switch to back to anyone, and I'm kind of open just to say bye to everyone because I'm about to, I guess, stop the stream and in a little bit, in a couple of minutes. But I do want to thank everyone for joining. Freedom says cognitive. So good to have you here, guys. Thank you for staying, by the way. I really appreciate that. Very cool of you. But yeah, GG, guys. Thank you for being here. Thank you for joining the stream. I will see you tomorrow, same time, after the regular upload. Tomorrow, 5 p.m. Central Standard Time. We're going to be live. I might be playing some Heroes of Might and Magic as well, because I wanted to do it today, but time flies, doesn't it? It's been 3.5 hours already. Almost 4 hours. No more. Because I started at 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, 4.5 hours stream. Didn't even feel like 5 minutes. Thank you so much, guys. Good night. Have a good one. Thank you for the support and generosity, super chats and memberships. I'll see you tomorrow, guys. Have a good one. Ciao, ciao. Ciao.